so I am Lasana Batiste, and I'm here with my brother Lyndon Batiste. Today's episode is one of serious nature, but also one of positive things happening, making things right. And we are going to piece together for y'all this mysterious puzzle misrepresentation of what has happened here in the past. Those of you who have been following my channel from inception will have a great idea of the direction that this life will be taking here this morning. For those of you who are new to the channel, I will be briefly giving you all a history as to a segment of my life. All right, so Shivani, good morning. I hope you have a cup of coffee and we are going to begin, guys. So I'm standing here with my brother, Lyndon Batiste, as a lot of y'all will know of Florence Kalicharan, and we are here to enlighten you all this morning. Now, in the year 20...
Wait, hold on a second. Just to put things in perspective.
Right.
Do you think you should kind of just show why this is happening and then we will come to that point?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
and this is based on...
So guys, I have flipped camera. And you're probably wondering what is taking place here. Guys, there was an existing chain link fence here going all the way down. And we will explain to y'all how this came about. Right? So we have removed the chain link fence. Up to that point there, we are concerned about the girls' safety. And we will be showing a clip a bit later on as to how we were instructed to do the work by the executor of this land. So we have removed, I'll say about 34 to 36 feet of the chain link. Now, I don't know how far I could go with this Wi-Fi, but we have left that piece of chain link down there for the safety of the kids, that nobody would be able to just run into the yard. As you can see, this is now opening up into Lyndon's yard, and this is a private access road. This is the road that Lyndon used to get to his home. And we will get to the part of how all of this came about. So the purpose of this video is to explain why, first of all, this fence was erected, which we all hated, including my girls. They hated this fence. Ellis also hated it. I hated it. And as you could see, just like the Berlin Wall, it is coming down. It has been removed to the point where we were instructed by the executor. We did our job. We did it nicely. If you look, now I could walk anywhere here because this is access road here. My property stops. If you notice how I was building my fence here, that's where my property stops. But in order to maintain peace, the executor fenced this property. See that garbage bag over there? That garbage bag contains all the bird feeders, which yesterday we asked Melissa Batiste. We asked her to have it removed by 1:30 yesterday. Right? By 1:30 yesterday, we asked her to remove the bird feeders. You could see there's still one hanging up on the fence that was left. We have no issue with that. Right? We did not touch that. So, guys, this is the story of this fence here. And we are going to enlighten you all as to what brought this fence about. All of this you're seeing here was open lands that my children, Sydney, Sadie, and Suri, had the luxury. You could go back and look at videos. You will see that all these children had a really nice relationship running in this open space. We will be thoroughfaring back and forth, jumping in the pool from on this side. I'd open up our access in the back there. Unfortunately, even all this wall that you see in here, who builds such a high wall this close to a person's home? There are reasons behind all the things that you see here. There are reasons. All this used to be an open piece of land. You go back to the videos when we had a good relationship with Lyndon, you will see videos with Lyndon just stepping across by us, and all of this has changed. So we will explain what it is you are seeing here before you right now. Bring that chair for me now. Let me sit down by the table. So guys, I hope are you all following me thus far? Is anybody lost? I would like to bring that table there so I could lean up on something. All right, now I don't have my glasses. But it's just really a conversation because we need to bring clarity before it is misrepresented, right? We want to bring clarity as to what is taking place here. So guys, sit back. Don't expect me to be engaging with the chat. This is a serious matter that has to be. We will need water. Yes, we will need water.
Let me run upstairs again. And let me get me coffee, water and coffee. And
yeah, sure, no problem.
And I will say a couple of things. Good morning. I hope you're all doing well today. I representing Mr. Sana. Don't let anyone steal your joy. Somebody tell me, I wear no the joy on my belly. And that is true. I wear the joy on my belly. No. And as Sana saying this more you than the viewer. The focus of this conversation, you and me as brothers. This is about brothers. This is about how brothers could allow, or siblings, it might be a cousin, it might be somebody, but family could allow discord to come between them. And not based on, I want this conversation to be framed in such a way, Sana, that the focus is on you and me as brothers.
Right.
I'm not going to, because you have to take responsibility for things, and I have to take responsibility for things.
Right.
Hey. Hi. So we just organizing some coffee here. Kim went off to work. Kim is not too, then feeling 200, but she's a real soldier. Good morning to my wife. Good morning to my kids. So the focus of this, and this is an adult moment. So if you hear us talking about adult things,
we wouldn't be cursing.
We wouldn't be cursing, of course, but just be mindful of it, right?
This for that is over on my part.
Now we could decide, Lasana, how to, because I say it is key. So if you drifting or I drifting in the conversation,
well, we don't know that.
We have a responsibility to bring it back and say the emphasis is on us as brothers and things coming between us that we responsible for in our own way. Mistakes that I make along the way. How it lead to separation. What happened to some extent during that separation. Why we made certain decisions. And we'll come today as to why something had to come down.
Okay.
Has started to come down, right?
All right.
So you tell me how far you want to go back, whether it is in terms of you're starting this from a foundation level of being a young boy, wanting a brother, things that good and bad that happen between we. That's your call, right? That's your call.
I think where we
and you have a piece of chicken to pansy for me.
Yeah, that's no problem. Right. I think what we could do is, and they're hearing it right now, I always wanted a little brother. And I begged mommy I said, Mommy, please, I want a little brother. She said, but your name is Lasana. And we name you Lasana because you're the last one. And then Lyndon came. And then she said, we go call him Lyndon. Lance, we done. Right? So that's how Lyndon came. Lyndon came 7 years after me. And I have always been very, very protective of him. Until the day things started to infiltrate our lives that we should have never allowed. And that brings us to that final year of my mental breakdown. I built my home here and was able to move into it in the year 1999. Years later on, Lyndon decided that he will build a house here also in Cora. We had a big dream. A dream that he didn't have kids at the time, but it was a dream where our kids will grow up together. We'll be able to continue the brotherly love. We were hoping for love, for unity.
I feel like I'm crying this week.
That's all right. We were hoping for love, we were hoping for unity. And all was going well. And then I came up with the brilliant idea that I am going to build a swimming pool. And I built that during the year of COVID when they closed all the beaches, all the rivers. I had some nice money in my savings. And I said,
just making videos maybe too.
Yeah. So I was going to build my fence originally. And while looking at the fence, right, ideas of how I'm going to go about building the fence, I said, but Lasana, listen, you're going to build a fence, you have to dig a ring beam, you have to dig to put a ring beam. Why don't you just incorporate a pool into the boundary wall that you're building? So that pool, guys, sits right on the boundary of my land. My house, my home was built 10 feet parallel to the boundary. So what you're seeing on the side of that home is 10 feet from the boundary. The gallery actually goes out into the access road. It comes out of our land. I even built the home years ago, and it encroached on what is Lyndon's land today. And when I realized what was going on, I said, Dad, I have a serious situation on my hand here. He said, what is that, son? I said, come in the back and see this boy. Remember that? Mm-hmm. The foundation to the back of the house, which now is a series of rooms and closets and toilets and baths. The boundary went in a diagonal direction. So, a huge portion of the foundation was actually sitting in Lyndon's land. And I said, Dad, what you want me to do here? You want me to get a backhoe and dig it up? I was already married to Melissa Batiste, or Melissa Singh, whatever she wants to be called. But it doesn't matter. Anyway, he said, son, don't dig up anything as yet. Don't dig up anything as yet. Give me some time. Let me think about this. And let me see what I can come up with. It wasn't a week. It wasn't days. Daddy came and said, all right, Lasana, we don't really expect you, after you spend all that money and all that labor, we don't expect you to go and dig up your foundation. I have spoken to Lyndon, and we are going to resurvey the land, and we will put it in. We will now give you the piece of land so that your foundation will be sitting on what is legally yours.
Can I add something to that?
You could interject anytime because my voice is a little tired.
Okay. I want to say a really special thank you to my elder sister, Lisa, and her husband, Ian. Because here's what, right? You see the piece of land that we build on? The the land, put it into perspective for new viewers maybe. Grandfather, grandmother, that is my paternal grandfather and grandmother, 11 children, and that gentleman and his wife, they did the noble job of splitting this property fairly between 11 siblings. For those of you who are familiar with the land space around here, my uncles and they, that's not my land, that's uncle, that's family land. The way the land was sliced from Lasana's back wall to the piece of property that our home currently sits on, it would have been very expensive for us to build because we are on a slope. We just simply couldn't have afforded the reinforcements, and this is where I get to my elder sister and her husband. They came. Hey, what's this thing here?
Sorry.
That's right. They live. Yeah, you know they have a property right next door. They looked at it and they say, without me asking, they say, Lyndon, that home will really be too expensive for you and Kimberly to build based on your budget and whatnot. So here's what we're going and do. And this is what my sister and her husband did in 2015, somewhere around there. They extended, they shift around the same, what Sana was talking about, the boundaries being shifted, and this is legally his and whatever the case may be. They shifted their bound line, legally of course. They shifted their boundary, and Lasana, I want to believe they may have gifted about 14 or 15 feet to us, you know.
Yeah.
Because the land cut like this, and they swing the land so.
And they multiplying that by about 40, 50.
They gifted us that.
But what did they give away land?
And around the same time with it was, when they offered it, I expected that they would have some price it and say, don't worry about it. You're trying to establish a life with our family, and we would like to do this for you. I have told them thanks already. I do not have done it sufficiently. So that puts into perspective some of the shifting that take place to accommodate Lasana and his family, and Kimberly and my family. And I am really very grateful for that, because we might have still been erecting the foundation to stand on that piece of property. So it kind of builds a story of Lasana was talking about what he did in 2021 during COVID, and the community and the pool and the idea that he had behind it. And I guess he would have had certain restrictions because of the front yard, right, Sana?
Yes.
Okay, good. So in terms of like being able to establish certain things, so it was a really wonderful gift from Lisa and Ian, and I appreciate it. So let me you get your coffee?
I sipped it already.
All right. So it's kind of like big man thing we talking, right? I mean, we talking and taping freely, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah, but not that.
Okay. So what can I add to this in the meantime? Put my backlight on there, boy.
What enough?
Right, this twisted.
Well, everybody will know, right, that there was trouble brewing in the camp. All right. Now I'm going to try to be as diplomatic as possible here,
And keeping it between you and
keeping it between both of us, right?
And you could include mommy and daddy as
Right.
well. They will be comfortable with that.
There was trouble brewing in the camp, guys, and slow but sure, I was beginning to have a new perception of Lyndon. And from that brother that I love and care about so much, I started to slowly become a threat to him. And then it went from slowly to, according to somebody, 0 to 60.
And I think it is fair that you replace the word you and me with household.
Yes, it became
Your household, we became threats to each other.
Yes. Right?
The household. That's a key thing.
But my household, we became a physical threat. And that is a key element here. We became a physical threat. Kimberly has a ton of hate messages, voice notes, videos, lots of information that she has kept very, very private up to this moment. She played back one for me, where it was 2 persons that sent a voice note. I was one of them. And I was appalled. I could not believe that that was me speaking. And I could not believe that I was still, up to this very present moment, that these people have put all of that behind them. And Lyndon has accepted me back, not only as a brother, but as a safe brother. It was so terrible that an army of men.
That's not, you're jumping the gun a little
Jumping the gun, all right. Well, remain. Go ahead.
You're jumping the gun a little bit there. Because to put us into perspective some more, this is during this is during COVID. There is a state of emergency on. And I want to share a little bit about what was happening in my household at that point in time. A number of things had happened between the households, I explained, and a number of things had happened between Lasana's household and mommy and daddy.
And my brother, you could say anything you wanted. You could say anything, you could talk about anything. There's some water?
Yeah, boy. Maybe some coffee too, boy.
Look.
I've been and share a little bit about what was happening around my household when that time became a little bit unsafe. And Lasana has expressed openly on lives already that Lyndon and Kimberly had to flee from the house. You have said that already, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
You have said that. So let me share a little bit about what was happening on the inside. This is during the state of emergency. Lasana discussed some of the messages he and his company sent. And I said to Kimberly, Kimberly, we need to leave here for 2 reasons. It is becoming physically unsafe for us. And if we stay here, we don't know how long this will go on for. Because I believe at that time, Lasana, through certain things may have exhausted a lot of the support. It had kind of, things had happened in a way that had tired out a lot of support. And this support extended to cousins. This support extended to friends and family who was seeking this man's interest right here and who was denied access to him. They were denied access to him.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of things that was orchestrated to put him where he was. He didn't have to reach there. And he probably wouldn't have reached there if people weren't denied access to him. So, a lot of the support had been exhausted in that way. And I told Kimberly, I said, you know what? The line of fire going and change. And with trained fighters, this attack could last for a very long time. For the viewers who have been behind this channel for a very long time, do you know when this is happening? As I say already, during a state of emergency. It also happened around the same time I meet Mr. Bat. I made 2 videos with Mr. Abbott. One was a silent video where he was cooking like a real bushman style. And we were wondering on the heels of this message how to leave this house. What is the safest way to leave this house? And I put through a call to the police station, Tunapuna police station. No, sorry, I don't know. I called 999. I get routed, right? Call 999. I put through a call and I say, we need to leave this home. We need to leave this house. And they say there's nothing we could do for you. The hour we are in, the heat of the state of emergency, the hour that you is calling here, and it cannot happen. We cannot support you.
What you wanted? Escort
I
out?
wanted an escort out it. That's, imagine wanting an escort out it.
Oh, so that's the morning Mr. Bats came in front with the van.
Yep. I woke up about 4 o'clock that morning. After a restless night of sleep. I pack a bag. Kimberly pack whatever clothes she could pack. We had 2 rabbits in a little cage. You could probably see them in some videos in the past if you go back to 2021. They were in a little cage with a tree underneath it. So you know them trees you had to pull out and it's that poop and all kind of thing and you spread out your garden paper. And please keep in perspective, there's something important here. We're dealing with households. Yes, it's a brother relationship. But keep responsibility in mind. At 4 o'clock, wake up, pack up the car. And now the thing is, how do I get to leave this house based on the series of messages that we have been receiving? How do we leave this house? And I just couldn't work it out, boy. But I remember reading some portion of script here, and I didn't remember what it just felt so fitting, and I realized, Lyndon, you have exhausted all your moves. You do not know what the next move is. And I go to the bedroom and I kneel down and I repeat that prayer. I say, Lord, I don't know what the next move is to make. But if you could give me and my family some direction out of this, because of the threats that we face and the messages that we have received, I just need help. I don't know. I have no idea what to do. Nah, I cool.
I know.
But it's a memory I guess I don't play back often.
First time I really playing this part.
And as I rising off my knees, my friend gave the squeak a lot. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. And Sana, boy, the fear that entered my heart, that it was your household coming up that step. No, there are people here who probably can't read through sarcasm. If I say something, do you think your viewers will be able to interpret it? We'll come back to that in a bit. Because I have special thanks to some individuals at the end of this video. Right. And as I rising off of my knees, boy, and I hear that gate squeaking open, it was like...
Oh,
it was like...
somebody was... I thought it was you opening the gate.
No, I am in my room praying.
And you hearing your gate opening.
And I hear my gate opening. And based on the messages that we have received, That include, listener, we have remained very private about some things. We are about some things. We have remained very private. And I'll tell you where our privacy extends into. Our privacy doesn't mean that we are not vocal about some things on YouTube, but we share messages on WhatsApp or in hidden circles. We don't do that. We don't need to do that. Let me get back to the story. Arising from my knees in my bedroom, hearing the gate squeak open, and as I hear that gate squeaking open, there's a moment when that fear enters my heart that I say to myself, God, you feel me so fast, boy. You didn't hear my prayer for protection. And I walk outside of my bedroom and I see Mr. Bad Boy. That man I only meet twice in my life. Dress up in the blue with your little hat pull over your head. And I open the door and I receive him. And here how private I wanted to be in that moment. When it's shaping up. When it's shaping up that this conversation going along and I saying, I could bring this man into a family affair, boy. That don't feel right. That don't feel right at all. How I could bring this man into a private family event like this. And I say, I don't have a choice. He was sitting outside. I have the like a memory. He's either sitting on a chair or an overturned bucket. And I said, Mr. Bat, come now. Come in the kitchen. Probably offer him coffee. I think I offer him grape juice. I don't think he had like the taste of the grape juice. And I said, Mr. Bat, I had to ask you a favor, boy. I need you to escort me out of this house. And I explained to him what's going on. And he said, you know what he said to me? He said, things get so bad, boy. Things get so bad, boy. And I say, yeah, boy, Mr. Bat. I say, will you escort us out of the house? And he said, yeah, man, yeah. I know he come to check, but I need to go on an adventure. And he escort us out. It had no walls. As if you missed the beginning of this video, you'll see in the beginning where the construction of this place was very different. It was just, you know, it was this real kind of country style. And I'll tell you, please remind me, Sana, to tell you the reason behind that wall, right? I may have told you in the past, I don't remember. And we went down to Kuva. As we were leaving, Lasana was standing up in the corner of his property. He clearly pointed out the bounds a little bit earlier. That was the last time we drove down that community drive road. The last time a private access driveway that serves number 56 and number 57. The last time I drove down that road was maybe on that day, Lasana. I have not walked it. I have not driven on it.
I chain it off.
And I will not walk it again until, in the will of the Lord, and the executor of that land has given us the authority to completely remove the fence. And if I am still alive at that time, I will proudly walk that road the way my grandfather and my grandmother intended his descendants to walk it. They say in some one of the proverbs that a wise man does leave inheritance for his grandchildren. Words to that effect. And I guess my grandparents were wise in their own way. Regardless of what their character was like, I didn't know them. But they were wise in their own way. Because they left their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. Let me call their great-grandchildren. Let me start at the beginning. Brandon, Zach, that's great-grandchildren enjoying it. We have Sydney, Sadie, Suri, great-grandchildren enjoying it. My wife lived in Kufa for a long time and probably wish she was still living in Kufa. But my grandparents, through their wisdom, and this is not to neglect anybody in the family, this is just the focus here is on this portion of the story, right? So we go to Kufa, and my grandmother, my mother-in-law, she's look like my grandmother.
Hey, boy.
I want to say a special shout out to my mother-in-law, Kamala.
You're gonna say that again?
Don't let anyone steal your joy. Right? Good morning. Hey, everybody in the chat, locked on.
Let me get them a little intermission because this real. I sit down here, partner, and I ain't lying to tell you. Let me just kind of lighten up the moment.
Oh, sugar, boy. You don't want sugar?
Whoever want to go and make a little cup of coffee, let me just have a little light moment.
Yeah, have a light moment.
Right, gather up the thoughts so that we could continue. Because, guys,
yeah, battery life, right?
But we have extension cord, we have everything.
But listen, to the
end of this live, Lyndon says that there are some people that he will definitely like to publicly thank, so we're looking forward to that. Also, some positive things has really taken place. Positive things. And we are here to reinforce that we have followed the orders of the executor to remove a portion. Remember, that's how the video started. We have removed a portion of the fence. And we have left another portion for the protection of our loved ones, Sydney, Sadie, and Suri. Right? We have their interests at heart. We love them. And we are going to explain to y'all this situation with all clarity that we possibly can. We want to get this message across that this was done out of preventing future problems. We are not going to get too much into our personal legal business, right? But also we are restoring this place to what it was meant to be. FPL Fire, I know that symbol, but I don't have my glasses. So moderators, I'm so glad to have all you on board. I'm seeing a couple of blue span as well. So to all the moderators, because there's no way we can talk about such a serious matter without glasses also. We cannot engage. We are here for the purpose of clarifying. We have to clarify what you all are seeing. Remember, we make videos up here, right? You will be seeing that the fence is gone, right? You will be seeing, because I will continue to make my vlogs up here, because I love up here. This is where I grew up for a huge part of my life. Amy T, how you going? I see Dolly, right? So we're glad to see these spanners in, and we know that we could trust you all to make proper decisions, to do what you have to do. All right? So I hope all you have a little cup of coffee. We sitting in here. I see we have 100 and how much?
183 people.
83 people in the house, and the story is going so beautifully between two brothers here that we know, if there's one thing we know for sure, is this relationship had reached its end. But if it's one thing we have confirmation about today, is that we know what the end result is this far, which is, all you know, there's a lot of love between Linda and I. And also, I don't like to say sister-in-law, my sister Kim, my nieces, who's like my daughters, right? There's a lot of love in this house. There's a lot of love existing between us. So we know is a good story. And that's what we really, I think that was our intention also today.
This is really, here's why, folks. I mean, the takeaway that I want for you is that you will have relationships. You will, some of you are probably lucky to be only children. Some of you will probably have siblings and things might be kind of on the fence, no pun intended. And there are, I accept now that there are relationships beyond repair. Maybe there might be some glimmer of hope. Maybe somebody might be reaching out to you. There's a sibling, and you probably made a decision that, hey, this is something that I need to lock off. I don't want no part of you. I get that. For some, it might be a glimmer of hope, and I am hoping that by sharing this and some of the decisions that have to be made, that it inspires you in some positive way to maybe attempt to fix something that, you know, just maybe give it one more shot. That's what this is about.
Without putting yourself in harm's way.
Of course. And that's why I had that preamble about some things may not be able to be salvaged, so to say, right? I think I need to kind of fill in some blanks here. The blanks I want to fill in is, well, where did YouTube and making videos come into this? Some of y'all know the story, but I'll just repeat it quickly. Making videos started way back in 2007 on YouTube. Lasana and I have, if you go onto my channel and you sort the oldest video, you'll see some boxing videos that we were doing. Stupid stuff. I hit Sana a punch, he hit me a punch. Crap like that, right? And I think I may have shared this already. I say, Lasana, I say this YouTube thing real cool, boy. This is in 2007. Eh? We tape a couple videos, incomplete video with him making fry bakes, etc. Anyway, I say, I think we should start a talk show, boy. And this is an important note. I made a mistake when Lasana said, or didn't express his interest in it. I made a mistake from a personal self-development point of view. The mistake I made is being a little brother, and I shared the idea that our older brother wasn't interested in. I shelved my dream. And I shelved it for a number of years. And I do regret that aspect of it. I regret shelving a dream because a sibling or somebody in my family didn't show interest in it. Ask any YouTuber, ask any writer, any creative person. The last people sometimes to see the vision that you have is that it'll be a family. They're the last. You probably need to impress a couple more people before your family start to show interest. And there's nothing wrong with it. My recommendation to you is don't shelve your dreams because your siblings do see the same thing. I shelve my dream. So I rack up shop interestedly. You know, people like to, it's kind of easy if you do a timeline track, you'll see, hey boy, Blinda may be the first person who start making videos and then other people join along. That's not true. I'm not the first person. My father and mother, they're the first people to do it. Daddy approached us with the idea to make a video called Down the Drain. I was the one who had a computer at the time knowing about editing and software. I said, all right, cool, we'll make it. It turned out to be good, but that video had to be taken off, right? So anyway, we lived in Kufa. I was doing Red Wall News. Then we were building in Cora, and I only had the courage to attempt to build with zero knowledge because I'm a brother. When I saw him in his first marriage, even before he was married, building a house probably back in 1999 at the age of 23 or 24 years old to build the house that stands today. Hats off to you, brother. You didn't encourage me in YouTube back then.
Yeah.
But you encouraged me in being able to say, hey, a man might have to build a house where he even don't necessarily want to build it or know how to build it.
Yeah.
And Lasana helped me beyond measure. In fact, he helped me at times. Where he got in trouble for it, really. So, when we came up here, and I was making videos, Kimberly was there, you know, all I know Kimberly, always entertaining, always come around taping. She fit, trying Red Wall News, and then I had this idea, because this maybe 2020, 21 around there. I had this idea, hey, listen, I have this workshop. Kimberly is into making cakes. We have Melissa Baptiste. She has some exceptional talent in terms of making food and different things. Very, very creative and excellent cook. I haven't eaten your food for a very long time, but I remember you as an excellent cook. Dumplings, she make, you know, fantastic. And I expressed to her, I say, you know, you should start making videos. I will help you with it. My idea was, Melissa is not the important factor here. The idea was, I had a vision of a community working together and a community that could sustain itself. How you ask? From a financial point of view, from an entertainment point of view. At the time, the son had made a decision to open this workshop, and I thought, hey, if people see this guy showing up and he making cabinets and different things, and then when cupboards cross their mind, hey, you know, my brother, the big fella from Cora who can't spell too good, and he just make videos. He brother just make woodwork and thing. Let me check him. Or somebody feeling for a cake. Hey, Kimberly, that ain't a man wife.
That was brilliant.
It was a community project that I started.
Brilliant.
Yes, it restricted to family because, and that was the beauty of meeting Mr. Bata and that it opened the forum a little bit more. But I get it, not everybody's team players. That's absolutely cool with me. I'm fine with that. So let's just put that into perspective as to what the community looked like, the vision, the sharing that was taking place. We established how Lasana boundary had extended to the back. I see Lasana here, what boy? You know, Lisa giving me a real big gift. As you know, she and her husband is a real big gift. In fairness, let me deal in a legal framework way that I could never check you 2-3 years from now and say, boy, you put that fence and I have a piece of land.
And back then, we really had no idea that is what it was going to be turning out in
Hey,
there.
let me get a joke now. When around the time where, you know, I was editing Daddy's book too, The Ghost of Cora. Around the time where, you know, things started to get a little bit shaky, I had a video, because I have all my video ideas, right? And I wanted to do a video about two brothers, right? Who this war.
Yes. We do want to learn small skits on it.
Two brothers who there's war plenty.
I put on the shot, boy.
No, because I mean, listen, life inspiring your art, and you're hearing stories you could think about from different villages, and you're making things that people could relate to. Not everyone. I mean, people with content and creativity. Something that I do occasionally is you just kind of cross the line into the absurd, so to say. So I enjoy that kicks. Honestly, that kicks me. I understand the serious repercussions of it, but you know, it's like this have an element of it that if you really consider it, boy, you know, like some funny things can happen in some serious moments. Would you? I've been speaking for a very long time. the folks probably know a lot, sticking with the theme of brothers and misunderstanding. Is there anything that you would like to know about when, or fill in the blanks in terms of you and I when we were in Kufa?
Well, we have spoken about some of those things already, right? What was new here to me this morning was what I heard the morning of which you left, when you woke up at 4 and you prayed and you heard Aggie. I didn't know that you had experienced. I remember seeing Mr. Bats come, and I remember that day I came by the pool deck and I was sending out a strong signal to you.
Your eyes were like this.
Yeah, I was sending out.
You were there alone?
Yes.
Okay.
I was there alone, right? Let me take the opportunity again, boy, Lyndon.
No. We crossed that.
No, we crossed that bridge, but I'm really sorry, boy, Lyndon.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm really sorry because it's not only you, it's Kimberly, them little girls with a miss a couple of months from up here.
We had a bag of clothes.
Right? So yeah.
But you know what, boy?
But you know something, boy? We would have extracted a lot.
Okay, and I will share. Sorry to cut you. I didn't even wait for you to finish though.
Right.
Listen, as weird as this goes, somebody, I do regret the experience.
Certainly.
Because and maybe this is hopefully a takeaway for you listening to it. There is an aspect of, like, you grow up a certain way. There are a couple of things I want to touch on where you might be. You have battery life, right?
We have battery.
Yeah, where you might be a little bit naive to people because they are family, and maybe there are things that you tolerate in the background. I love you 100%, right? Stop that now, like.
My nose.
Yeah, I love you 100%. There are boundaries between us now, and it doesn't take away from the love.
Yes.
There are conversations I may not have with you, but it don't mean I'm not open with you. There are things I don't take for granted when it comes to in-laws. There are things I don't take for granted with connection with other people's children. There are things that I don't take for granted in terms of not all skin, teeth, and refined voice you hear is the same in the background.
Yeah, boy.
No. And I do not regret. I would say in life, I have had 3 or 4 major hiccups with people, and the God that I serve has been gracious to let each test be a little bit bigger. And I imagine, and I'm speaking from the point of view of a Christian, you may not be a Christian, I'm speaking from the point of view of a Christian that continues to feel and falter, that God is just good and gracious, and hopefully these experiences will refine us to that final test, because we each have a final test that we would experience.
I really have to send a big shout out here, right? Dave from down south, man is always in contact with me, sending nice uplifting things. So Dave, I know you're locked on. Good morning to you, your entire family. And brother, always keep your chin up. God is good. There's always something to be thankful for, guys. Right? There's always something to be thankful for. I keep reminding people of that.
Let me get a quick story. So, hey, I really love my mother-in-law, boy. I know my mother probably watching or will watch it later, but mommy, I really love you too. I really like to feel left out sometimes, so I just want to say, mommy, Mama Lou, I love you. Right? I really love my mother-in-law, boy. Gosh, that woman is a...
That incense you drink quite to the back here, you know.
Too big joke. Yeah, listen. let me tell you something now, man. It's not that deep. Well, all I do in Kufa, all I do in Kufa for the month and a half that we do. I want
It's only
to
a month and a half for yours, eh?
month and a half, 2 months. Kimberly could clarify in the chat for other people. It feel like 3 months. I don't know how long it was.
Well, I feel like a year, boy. I real miss you, know.
Oh, you miss me? You
But-
must be a
Hey,
party
hey,
and
hey,
thing. I
hey,
see you in
wait,
yellow with a
wait.
bandana on your head and
No.
thing.
Wait. You never get a voice note from me.
Here's what.
And I said, Lyndon, William, he thought I was beating you. Right?
Yeah, the nature
But
of the voices that
I
was coming
sent-
through.
I sent a voice note. I said, Lyndon, listen, come back in your house, boy. I would not interfere with you, boy.
Oh, and in that message, if that's that message,
Yeah.
you use some serious cuss words, boy. So when I put it two and two together, I said, no. This message, the words, and the, you know?
The adjectives are attached to it.
Yeah. And then it had voice notes from other parties as well, and I said, something in that. I cool, brother. You know, all your, all your fuel one another. And all you have all your things will unravel the way they're supposed to unravel. But if we are wrong, if my household are wrong, no, that would be bad in us, Anna.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
So anyway,
So
I
my
detracted from your
mother-in-law,
mother-in-law.
Boy, all I do in Cuba is talking to a cousin named Jared Carrington. Thanks, boy, Jared, for all the support. Jared was saying something to me. He says something to me continuously in every conversation. You know, I call it that one was he something 6-7 times a day, you know. Because he just what I was trying to do was reason it out. And he said to me, and I wanted to notice plural and singular. There's a big difference between them. See, a rational mind, I don't know if you was telling me I had a rational mind at that time. A rational mind cannot make sense. Irrational minds can't make sense of it. And I spent about 2 or 3 months, however long it was, Kimberly probably clarified, calling Jared day after day, calling her a real good friend of mine, Ishmael Big. Yeah, real stand up with me, boy, brother, boy. Jared, you real stand up with me. Pete, Don, cousins and uncles, Uncle Wayne, Uncle Michael. Gentlemen who you know reach out to you and were denied access to you. Denied access. About 2 months, Kimberly said. So anyway, a day, you know, understanding pain and grief is so strange because where at the time this understanding this grief and how it is straight away. My mother-in-law by the home, you know, on the street there, we just fondly refer to as, you know, the old family home, right? That she and her husband established. Shout out to Kim's dad, Mr. Kenneth Baden, who is no longer with us. He used to call me Milk. Anyway, so I walk in, you know, the bathrooms are on the outside, the shower and bath is on the outside, at the end I kind of sitting area in the garage. And I just get up because I just lie down on that woman's bed whole day, just talking on the phone. In her room, you know. Yeah, I can lie down, get my wife, yeah, go ahead, now you ain't bothering me, right? And I start to walk outside. I go in the toilet, I use the toilet, I come back outside, and boy, Sana. So I look up in between, I lean up on the wall. I think they have a cousin next door. He does my dog. I think at the point in time he was killing and cleaning that dog, right? I see she sticks she head outside at the end of the next end of the corridor by the kitchen there. And she pulling her broom. And she watch outside and she watch herself. She say, I want to know who making that hole. Or say something like that, right? She walk up to me, she say, boy, if you had a cry like that, cry inside now, boy. And the tears turned to a mixture of laughter at that point in time, right? So we would spend about a month and a half, but it was so much fun because we were in a room as a family on sharing a king size bed that they had just gotten at the time in the bedroom. They accommodated us. Special hello to Kimberly's brothers, you know, who present. I want to say a special hello to Sean Badlu. A special thank you to Mona, Plaza, Stephen, Paul, and everybody that just supported us on that end of the journey. It really means a lot. I realize now that I didn't do a good job saying thank you as much as I should. And you think about the support systems that, you know, we may not necessarily be consuming the resources of like a support system, but I guess I need to be more responsible to when people turn to me for support, boy, and that, hey, I have received this blessing from somebody. Anyway, I have slept a lot since then in my vow that I made. But it was at that time, those 2 rabbits that we took down to Cooper, in the space of 3 or 4 days, they would die very tragic deaths. I'm not going to get into how, but they would die very tragic deaths. And when we were getting rid of one of the rabbits, I make up for that time that I have failed so many times. I say, God, you have been so good to us from the arrival of Mr. Bat, to guiding us through this home, to keeping us safe, to giving us food and shelter. And I make a vow to stop cursing. And I think I went from a cuss word in every other sentence to maybe 1 a week. I do feel.
You're trying.
I do feel.
You're trying.
So I think now you could share something.
Yeah. Well, it is very heartrending to know that what was once a dream was shattered at this moment. And we getting to hear what was happening on Lyndon's end. And what I could tell you, it is so true what he told Kimberly, which is, tell me if I have it correct, let us leave from here, because we are actually, for those of you who know about narcissism, we are actually creating supply for them. We are fueling them. Let us remove ourselves from the equation and leave them to themselves, because mommy and dad had already blocked us. My sister blocked us, right? And what happened is, basically, I was not left with my true support system. That has been eroding from the very start. And it finally reached a stage where I was no longer in the family circle. And I placed myself there, right? Did it work? Certainly. We had nobody to channel this hate towards, because there's nobody communicating. So that was definitely a divine move, which will be inspired by God, right? That, listen, remove yourself from the equation. Lyndon and they now Lyndon just expressed, and I know Kimberly is in there chatting. I'm unable to read her comments, right? But we now heard it from his mouth that they actually enjoyed that time in Cuba as a family. Yes, they were displaced, but they spent that time together. Definitely, they would have been praying, asking God to create a way out of this situation. What was happening in my home in the interim? Well, there was a lot of marijuana smoking. They were the most, sometimes, not good company. They were the wrong type of people giving us advice. A lot of negativity. And we were just really, we were just really spiraling down into an abyss of mayhem, confusion. Terrible, terrible. We were not at peace. We were not at peace. I was doing everything in my power. I will say that there was a particular individual, very, very learned in the law. Very learned in the law. In the law. You know who I'm speaking of, right? And that man was giving us all the angles to take to prevent these people from coming back to this home. He was giving us every single thing. He said, listen, you see that piece of land? You see that piece of land right next to Ole? Ole in a good position to be able to claim that land. And if Ole claim that land and you block off this access road, they don't have any way to get to their home. And the thing about it is that what we want to do is we want to frustrate them that it doesn't even become a legal matter. They will just give up and say, hey, you know something? Let's just forget our quarrel. And I thank God, Lyndon. I thank God that we did not have that effect upon all you. You know what times Lyndon came to this home here and me together with my stronghold. You know how many times they came up here and I went in that access road and I say, hey, don't you dare touch that chain, eh? They call the police. The police know, well boy, here now, we really can't touch that chain, you know. Because we were getting legal advice. Be careful of the people that you're letting into your lives. But you see, when you're full of negativity and hate, it's the law of attraction, guys. It's the law of attraction. You attract people that the characteristics that is emanating out of you. You're going to start attract. Hey, I'm a bad man, boy. What a bad man seeing that. Yeah, boy. We can hang with our guy. We can hang with our guy. And this man, and he is still advising. But I thank the Lord, my ears are shut to you. I don't ever want to see you again. You could continue giving advice. I think you are. But I don't ever want to see you again. Especially around my children. Because you have created a lot of disturbance. You have created a lot of disturbance. You could have caused death in my family. You could have made me end up in Golden Grove. And the plan, of course, would have been to, all right, because that's how brilliant the person is. Ooh, good. Lasana has done all the dirty work. And now I will come like the knight in shining armor. I will take care of you now. And there are a couple of people that giving advice.
Do the guards.
Yeah, no problem. Right, so reeling.
Let me
Right,
let me
good.
pull
Yeah,
back.
so we pull him back. Right, get a little off track, and I really appreciate that. Right, I really appreciate
no,
that.
you didn't go on for long. You didn't go on
Yeah.
for long.
All right, so we knew what buttons to press, and we were pressing them.
And interestingly, on one, remember I said I haven't driven on that community road since then. The one time I tried to come back to very, very, very scary event because your heart beating in your chest. You have the fear that something could become physical. And we returned and there was a coconut tree at the bottom of that access road. The immortal tree, different trees that the children absolutely love. Lasana's children, our
That's what they used to
children
pull
as well.
and throw up like confetti.
And when I came, Lasana, I think because you in the background, Lasana, you give a picture of what's happening in your life at that point in time, right? We are in the background. You all now have a picture of what was happening in our life. Not until 2024. You have an idea.
I hope you're going where I hope you're going.
What was happening, right? I think we could now start let me just give an introduction to it, and so you could decide what we're talking about, right?
I don't know where you're going, and it's a brilliant idea to bring clarity
All right,
to
but
that. If it is,
you say you good.
all right. So, one of the ideas that was given to us is, wow, boy, that kind of maribunta thing, boy. Yes, one of the ideas that was given to us is, listen. Now remember, the old house has been demolished. It was that idea that will become like a little park,
Playground for the children.
playground for the children, right? Lyndon's kids, my girls, right? This person encouraged us. He said, you need to plant trees,
You could find a video on it on Ellis Food and More.
right? You need to plant trees. He started to plant trees. Brilliant strategy. Brilliant strategy.
You started chanting like Lagahu.
Somebody said that they left a comment, but they were accused of being you. Oh yes, I have been present on that channel. Yes. Hey, I leave a comment. My name is attached to it. I am Lasana Batiste. Mr. Sana Trini for life. Sana Trini for life. I comment as who I am. Right? Which will lead us now to the action that had to be taken to get Lyndon, Kimberly, Haley, and Anna back into this home safely. And maybe you could take that part, Lyndon, and now let us be mindful that, as I say, the focus of this video here is to show where brothers were, where they went, and where they have returned to. Praise be to God.
And I am going to be very candid and very open about some of the most of the experiences that we had along the way. Because
and I have
sometimes,
no problem. I have no problem with that.
You need to be very careful when you decide to help a brother. We will come to that in a bit.
Okay, I will just ask that particular situation, right? And I know why I'm saying this, right? I would like you to stay clear of that particular incident.
Okay.
Within reason.
Of course.
In terms of complicating
yes.
certain aspects of it, right?
I will speak about it from the point of view of helping a brother.
Right.
Right?
That, no problem. But you understand where I'm coming from?
I do.
All right, good. Right? So, guys, at this point in time, let me hear from Lyndon, because Ollie already get the picture painted, right? We get busy. We trying to lay claim on a piece of land that does not belong to us. We cut off Lyndon's access road. I pulled logs. I went across the road, guys, some big fat logs like that. I get skinny. And I toting log, dragging it, blocking it across the road. And I made that road literally disappear. I planted coconut trees on the top part of the road. So it now looked like a driveway that was only coming to us. Within that month and a half, I was like Mandrake. I make a road, poof, disappear. I do a good job, eh? I did a good job?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Job, boy.
Fantastic job.
You know, to fast forward a little bit just briefly, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, when I was clearing it, right? And I lift up maybe that log you're talking about. I had to drop it because I didn't realize how heavy it was, right? But Sana, because my belly hurt me, you know. Yeah. But boy, I cry for you when I pick up that log.
Yeah, boy.
When I consider this man dragging all these things in these theater, I mean, end up getting isolated through a number of decisions, eh?
Yeah, boy.
So this private access driveway that serves both homes is blocked off, and we no longer have access to it. Things continue to escalate in our way. Things continue to escalate in a way that it started not just affecting Kimberly and me. I want to say something. You know, my wife, to stay in the loop and just to be knowledgeable of what was going on, it had a lot of things that Kimberly was unnecessarily exposed to. Text messages, voice notes, number of different parties but she would listen to it and endure it, and she would come to me for, hey, I think this is something that you should listen to. I think this is something that you should be aware of. This is what was happening. And my coping mechanism at the time was very weak, very poor. Because you would think it was Kimberly's, family causing all the issues, and she in the loop more than me. And that's why I say, the experience hopefully has made me grow in some way spiritually and mentally, so that I could support my family more when these things come along. Things started to really affect not just us, but the children as well. And there was, when it started to affect the children, I think I became a little bit more aware of the situation. It felt like, hey, we left so that the fuel could run out, but this fuel didn't run out, boy. It have an endless supply of fuel, apparently. It have an endless supply of fuel, and it getting bad. And a decision was made by Daddy, who is the executor of the land that our grandparents' home stood on. Please, I encourage you, after this live, go and take a look at that video of demolishing an 80-year-old house in Trinidad and Tobago. It paints a perfect picture of the bounds of the land, who's where, where's what, and decisions that are made, and things that you will see in the future. A decision was made that through that a fence has to go up. If it is that this, because the extent of the combined forces and the destruction that go in with it, it is way too extensive. Borders need to be created. And when Daddy laid out the plan, Daddy and Mommy laid out the plan, there was, I don't know if Daddy ever expressed this here, I'll speak from my end. I was like, you are Daddy. What probably I think it and didn't say it. What a stupid decision you're making, Daddy. These people are so poorly behaved and involved in X, Y, and Z. And this is the extent of the kind hand that you reaching out to them? If you put up a fence here, wouldn't it give the impression that this is no longer a private access driveway but a private place? I say, what if police responds to an incident while you are standing on a private access driveway? I say, you could be shot because you are giving the impression that this is a private area here. True. We express those things to Daddy. And your father loves you very much, Lasana. And your father make a series of decisions that was a hand stretched out in kindness. Mr. Bat, when he saw the offense, will eventually express to me, your father made a very necessary decision in the interest of keeping the peace between two brothers. It may have never felt so to you, it may have never felt so to me. He said, but your father made a hard but crucial decision. Your battery running low?
No, we are on 37.
And everyone, I think most people, let me just say everyone, most people felt that the generous hand of your father that was extended to you was bordering stupid. A lot of people in the face of that adversity thought that that chain link fence should be on the bounds of your land. You have a garage, you made a business decision that encroached on your front yard. Daddy did not have a lot of support in your favor. You know what he say? He say, if that fence is there, what going to happen to them children? Your brother is already trapped mentally. What going to happen to his mind? I don't know if he ever expressed that to you by telling you it.
I definitely recognize that Daddy was making a lot of provision for us.
Concessions, is you
right? And I will tell you this. First of all, let me say, Daddy, even though all odds would have been against you, we are seeing here today on the 24th, I believe, of May 2024, we are seeing that your wisdom given and directed by God, it did not come to a point of no avail. Your careful decision, which would have had a lot of prayer put into it, Daddy, you have operated as a father, as a God-fearing man, as a wise man. Today, we are seeing what your decisions, look at right here, Daddy. Look at right here.
Remember to honor your mother too.
And mommy, of course, this, what you would have been seen as bordering stupid, as Linan says. And yes, I thought that you were very stupid at the point in time too, Daddy. Because I immediately, being of the mindset, my infected mind, and listen to my words carefully, my infected mind, because that is not my mind. And that's why I always say, you only have one mind, don't lose it. My mind was infected. It was corrupt. And I immediately saw it as, Daddy, you just gave us a nice parcel of land. And I am the person that started to plant every single thing that you see on the side. I planted a lemon tree. I planted a coconut tree. I planted all the Antigua heat. I said, Melissa, all right, you want to do hummingbirds? I went and I bought all the hummingbird feeders. I said, hang them up on the fence. And we started to damage the people fence because we bending up the top of the fence and we hanging up the bird feeders. I take a big branch and I hang it up. I said, that's for the hummingbirds to perch on. Right? It was my intention. Okay, we didn't get through with the big prize piece of land that we were eyeing. But Daddy and them now come and fence us in here. We're going to plant this up. I have planted every single tree there. I plant it, and if it has to be removed in the future for the purpose of what it is going to be done. I planted it. I will ask God for forgiveness if it is that it is really encroaching on the access road. I take the liberty. I ask God, God, please forgive me that I have to take the life of this tree which I planted. But it was planted with the wrong intention. So, which brings us to the point that the fence had to be erected. We can't have a man, an enraged party, storming out at Linden and Day.
An enraged household.
Right? A whole enraged household going out there. They had to put defense for defense. And that's how defense went up. And of course, Daddy and they, knowing the moves that we were making in terms of planting all those trees, which we carefully documented on YouTube so that one day we could have it as proof. Listen, look, they're removing our trees, but people does not know the backstory. And I'm here to say the backstory is that our intentions of light pole number 57 Coral Royal Road is that we wanted to encroach and steal a piece of land illegally from the Baptiste family. But now you all know the truth. Those of you who choose to view it as the truth. And I'm not here to convince a certain type of people. I'm not here to that. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a magician. I'm not a psychiatrist. I am here to speak to sensible people, intelligent people, intellect. Right? So, now, that fence was placed. And Daddy and they had all the trees removed. They were newly planted trees, guys. Go back and do the maths. They were recently planted. Small little trees, so they didn't even grow one spring of new leaves. And I went up on Facebook, look at that, they destroy all the trees. Like if they were planted there for 4 or 5 years. Some little trees, so. I'm trying to capitalize on the sympathy of people now on Facebook. That is where I was doing my work, on Facebook. Look at what they're doing. But guys, let me tell you all of this. Which brings us now, we're beginning to close in. That day was a very difficult day. I was truly traumatized.
You should check your battery life.
It's on 37%.
Okay.
I was truly traumatized. In between all the mayhem and confusion, I was able to see that my father was distressed. I could have seen it.
I was on the heels of a heart attack.
And this was on the heels of a heart attack that Daddy already had. My mom, she could not bear the thought of coming up because she knew the impact it was going to have on the children. My children were crying. Me and the other party, we were ranting, raving, until listen, there is one particular tree that still stands as a lonesome soldier on that piece of land, and that's a pui tree. And I love that tree. I love that tree. I knew who it was planted by. Uncle Bertram. I remember asking him, what type of tree is that, uncle? He said, Apamata Pui. And I used to enjoy sitting in the evening watching a flock of palm tanagers, maybe like about 50, 60 birds, just nestled on that tree, singing the sweetest songs that one could ever hear. A chorus. And when I see the backhoe finally put its bucket up against that tree, I could tell you, I cry for a tree already. And I watched Daddy. I said, Daddy, please, please, Daddy, I'm begging you, Daddy. Not this tree. Daddy, please. Do not, Daddy, do not tear down this tree.
I could add something as that, brother.
Let me just finish this and you take over.
Take over.
And Daddy, give the order. Tell the back woman, leave it alone. And that tree still stands today. And you know what I tell my children in secret moments after my coming out of St. Anne's, and I will sit down outside watching that very said tree, which was an important part of my healing, because the birds continued to nestle on it. And I will tell my children in secret, I say, girls, especially Sydney, I say, you see that tree? I say, Grandpa Lance, Grandpa Lance left that tree for us. Daddy, you're really a great man. When that fence was erected, well, I immediately had an evil plan. That, okay, good. Yeah, I was all in the tree. I had an evil plan. And that was to be able to claim this land that Daddy and the fence. But oh, my daughters hated it. My daughters hated it.
Evie and Anna no longer had access to your daughters and vice versa.
My daughters could no longer walk up in the back here. Neither could they walk down by us.
So the community vision
and
had
Sydney, yes, the community
vision that we outlined at the beginning.
Right? And let me tell all you something. Sydney said, Daddy, I hate this fence. I hate this fence. And I wish that one day this fence could come down, Daddy. I miss just seeing no fence. And girls, don't care, because a lot was said. A lot was said when we were taking on that fence. A lot was said. And girls, up to this morning, y'all were reminded. One of y'all, I don't know which one of y'all it is, but one of y'all said something. I couldn't hear it because I was quite by the fence. But the response that was given to all is, do not worry. Uncle Lyndon and your daddy cannot do all your anything. Well, girls, let me show all you how safe y'all really are. We, the beasts, were there doing our work, and y'all were probably asking about your safety. And the door was left wide open. Once again, the door was left wide open. And if your mom was so concerned, rather than hold her camera to come and start a videotape, a job that was peacefully done, of which I have footage. I have all the footage. So that when you hear the edited version, the perfect version is made. I have the entire video. So all the nice creative cuts that will be made, I have it clean. No jumps, no cuts. And we went about our work peacefully this morning. We executed our duty as two sons to the executor. We did our job, Daddy. We did our job. You wanted it done by Friday. We will take the opportunity to show you all something shortly. But the fence has been partially removed, revealing once again what is the access road. That we left up the balance of fence, which you did not want removed for the girls' safety. And I thank you for that. I thank you very much for that, Daddy. And Sydney, Sadie, and Suri, I do not know what plans there is in store for y'all if there is an emergency, because definitely y'all have been cut off from Uncle Lyndon, Auntie Kim, Haley, and Anna. Even though Auntie Kim religiously walks down for the girls to greet these three little ones by the fence, and they're sticking out their hands like little monkeys through the chain link fence. Girls, if there is ever an emergency, y'all are to now make all your way through where that fence has been removed. Y'all are going to be safe here.
And you all have been safe. To point out something, we have been safe in our open community for a number of years. That is something to note. Whether it is foolish on some people's part, that we deal in here with the vision of our open community. That is, yes, in every household there are certain safety considerations that you could have. But we deal with the essence of the place. And our defense was not safety against external threats.
Right.
So to harp on that, I mean, while I see it as useful, to harp on it is to kind of neglect the original vision of defense.
And I will tell you this. Right? We have executed our duty, Lyndon, without any major hiccups. We have dealt with the person very respectfully. Right?
Yeah. In all honesty,
and that is over. I'm so happy to see that your girls feel intrigued by that fence being removed, because that is what this trend grew up new in that, Lyndon.
And it is a private access driveway that serves number 56 and 57. We see that at the beginning. I feel like like a lot of things have not been in the story of brothers. I feel like a lot of things have been kind of neglected in between. I feel like I haven't had the opportunity to say certain things.
Well,
that I would like to
really
share.
know what's in your mind, but
No,
by all
because
means,
because
Linda.
there is so much, there is so much from the point of view of what does a brother, you and me, what do you now experience when you have division in the physical form of offense? How it led to certain things that happened to you? What was the consequences of it? The nature of certain things that are happening in the background? Because we are, yes, we are ultimately responsible for the things that we do. But there's a lot that have not been said in terms of when this fence is erected and the nature of the relationship. I mean, passing you and you know, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Maybe now is not the time to get into it.
If you feel,
But
Linda,
there's a lot of things that have been left out. It's like you're all right. The fence go up. What? I mean, the conversation is done. We still have any conversation here.
well, very soon
But
you
our
have
fence,
to just go to the
our fence goes up, and then you just jump to the fence coming down.
yeah. Well, definitely, if it is you want to touch on a particular area, and I strongly suggest that you do, because this, Lyndon, I will tell you this. I have used these lives in the past, and it has helped me declutter, right?
Well, I realize I never declutter my
And
mind
you
talking
never
about it.
declutter your mind. So maybe this is your opportunity. Just remember,
But you just say,
edit your
Lyndon,
thoughts,
when you
right?
think. But what was it like? You know, like your return. So okay, so eventually the decision make.
Hold on. Where's the extension cord? We need to get the extension cord and
Probably unless we move to the
okay, nice and cool, boy.
okay.
Just
Well,
a minute.
you had to get from the
Downstairs?
storage room. And you'll get a key with the custom made.
Right.
Yeah. You. I think when you return, we should have a little conversation about some of the things that would lead to your.
Okay, well, look at air. It's like I hear pretty cool. Let's bring it, let me plug in now.
A minute. Special good morning to everybody that are locked on, and there is a lot to unpack in this video. The time has come to see some things that we have remained very private about, and our emphasis
on that side, eh?
wherever suits you.
Look how clear this
Our emphasis here is on being mindful of a relationship deteriorating between siblings and things that could perhaps lead to some redemption.
All right, so we have 28%. Let me once again thank everybody that has supported my channel from inception to now. We are dealing with highly sensitive topics, but the focus really is on showing where brothers could end up. And in our instance, we are blessed. We have been given the privilege by God. All the prayers that would have gone out for us through many different types of denominations, people praying to their God of their understanding for us, Christians, Muslims, Hindus. So many people have said prayers for me because they have expressed it to me.
Okay.
Right? So I want to thank everybody that has said prayers for me, all the support. I know obviously there will be people here not for the correct reason today, right? But that's okay. Moderators, I want to thank you all very much for the work that, thank you, Melissa, right? I want to thank you all for being on board here with us. I see some of the names, Dolly, Judy T. I saw Javid earlier on. I want to thank all the commenters, the silent viewers, and yeah. So Linan, and I think it really is a good thing when I think of why Lyndon is organizing himself there, I think it's such a great thing, a great opportunity that I gave myself, right? I gave myself the opportunity through this live stream that I did consecutively for about 9 to 10 months, and I just emptied out my heart. When I started this channel, just a reminder, right? And for those who now on board, when I started this channel, I was under so much of stress. I was trying my best to edit my thoughts. I did not want to let out my family business on a public forum such as this. I did not want to do it. I tried my best. People were getting infuriated with me. I always try my best to acknowledge the other channel, right? I tried my best. And eventually I just reached a point where I did not know how to deal with this anymore. I was going down the road of different avenues, seeking help from Children's Authority through the legal system. I have been doing a lot of work in the background that you guys do not know about. And it has failed me to a point. It has failed me to a point, but let me correct myself by saying I needed some more. And that's as far as I will go concerning that. And Lyndon, definitely, my speaking here has helped me a lot. It's as though I went through 10 months of therapy, right? And brother, if you will like to say something.
So this is, and please keeping the focus on brothers. I don't engage in the chat. So if at any point in time I start to stray around the core idea of siblings and family support systems and whatever, Lasana, you just let me know, right? Kimberly, I would like you to do me a favor and WhatsApp me anything that you believe I should touch on as I go along. Sometimes I have a difficult time kind of piecing together events and chaining together the necessary things. This is a drawing that Anna made that's just resting here. And it looks like an open community, yeah? Not open in the sense of, don't think about it in terms of fence, but it's open in terms of free-spirited. So we returned from Kuva to Cora. We had to establish a new driveway that the executor and owners of the land were gracious enough to grant us access to. So I wanted to think about the nature of, because there are different kind of financial considerations to these things, right? You have to of course pay to get a fence up. You have to, Daddy, this driveway shouldn't be here. Why this driveway here? You already do X, Y, and Z and bless up, you know, this amount of land space. You want to put that driveway quite in the middle there? No, Lyndon, practical. Think about it. A trucker coming here to drop material or you all for whatever. So we know, because of our misunderstanding between us, start to exert resources that we didn't cater to. There's something I should share with you all. Before we made the move to Kuva, you built a house, and I remember you built a home together. And I remember one day being in the backyard, Cora, and the yard was completely surrounded with dirt at that point in time. The side of the house. You'd see videos of it, you'd see the dirt on the side, the dirt in the back. You probably have a video where we were building some digging out some steps to walk up in the back onto family land. And, you know, pick a mango or whatever the case might be. And I remember walking in the backyard one day and I say, I wonder who was here 1,000 years before me, boy. And then the thought occurred to me, I wonder who would be 1,000 years after me. And I think it may have been a moment where the thought, the conversation, this is no issues happening here. Things as far as we're concerned, 2020, smooth sailing kind of things. I started toying with the idea of, if we had to renovate this house, where would we spend money, boy? Where we might get an extra room, them girls get older, or we have another boy or a girl or whatever the case might be. Where we might extend, hey, here might take a little room. But I always thought about it in a very casual way. Some builders, you'll have seen part one to building a house in Trinidad. You haven't seen part two as yet. But this gives you a perspective, a timeline. So some builders came up. We haven't gone to Couvers yet. Some builders come up and they started looking at the south side of the house, which is where you have that window where we look through the kitchen and it's on the slope, and they give us some ideas as to where they could extend here, but boy, they say how to reinforce and whatnot. It'll be a costly project. All right, cool. What we might be doing in the backyard, we have a limited backyard space, you might get a small bathroom or whatever. So this casually thoughts would cross your mind as to how to extend your home, you know, if the family need comes to it, but no serious thought of really doing anything. When we went to Couva and Dali and they started talking about the fence coming up, the next idea was, how do we renovate our home? What can we do to enhance the safety? Because although that fence went up, your home, you mentioned earlier that Kimberly and myself made a decision that we are going to gift you an extra 3 or 4 feet of land,
right,
and make it a legal something. So we would still have, although that fence up, we have no wall between us, between the two houses.
Right,
my house,
the fence is up.
Yeah, the fence is dealing with our side.
Because it was a flat platform.
Correct.
Right.
Right? That will serve the garage or whatever. So the thoughts, this is where now we started thinking, imagine you're renovating your home and remind me to say something about that wall because you pointed out at the beginning. A crucial thing to tell you when it comes to that wall.
Right.
And I have expressed it to you already, so you know. What we going to do here, boy? But here, what? Maybe we could cast this garage and put up a little half a wall or something. And then we kind of toy with the idea, well, what if we make the wall a little bit higher? All right, that's something cool. What if one day we want to probably extend the home? And I don't know, maybe an apartment for them girls, one of them might be getting married and can't afford a rent. What if we go upstairs, you know, put things in place so that we could have a platform to the top? And, all right, so we coming back home to meet our fence, but we simultaneously have to put things in place to
because there's the gap,
ensure.
as you see, right.
I am thinking about you now as a brother, that when my brother see this wall going up, he going and think, I building this wall for him. You expressed that in one of your moments of heat, right? And I say, you know what, Kimberly? We need to set up that wall. Because even if Lasana thinks that wall is for him, you could ask my wife, Sana, over and over. I say that wall is not there for Lasana. Because I expect in a couple of years' time, we will have to face some other things. And brother, I am telling you here again for the 3rd or 4th time, that wall did not go up for you. You could ask my wife.
No, I don't have to. I know that. Yeah.
So, we were inspired to extend our home. Didn't have all the resources to do it, but we had a support system in the background who, to this day, are kind of gracious and understanding about certain considerations and things that they helped along with. And that is where we started the construction. So that construction and that video that you're seeing is in the midst of everything that's happening, returning home to our fence, decisions that he had to make to keep the peace between brothers. And you know what, Asana, when I said to you earlier, I say, you know, I don't regret the experience that it happened, because I think that I could be very casual about things, and I would have been, chances are, if it didn't happen, I wouldn't have been inspired to provide better for my wife and for my family. And to progress a little bit.
It's true.
Yeah. So
It's true.
so as you know, it had to include a boundary that would now separate the homes, and you know, you could kind of add in here some of the things that's going to happen along the lines of whatever you want to speak about within reason, of course. The construction has taken place. I think I am quite open to sharing any experience on my part, and if you want to speak in freely, we could continue to do so.
Well, what I will say is the fence was already erected. As he said, upon their return, the chain link fence was already there. But we had already masterminded that this is putting us in a good opportunity to be able to claim land, right? However, there was still this gap in the back. And I will tell you what I felt. Remember, I'm not concerned about the back because there's nothing to claim in the back. The big claim was on the side where we take down the fence this morning, right? However, when that wall began to proceed to be built, I started to get a feeling of helplessness. I still, amidst everything, I still had so much of love, not only for Lyndon, but also Kimberly, also Kaylee, Anna. And this was final closure that Lasana, you have been evicted from your family. That's the feeling I got. That, oh my God.
What was your support system telling you when you expressed that?
My support system was letting me know that, hey, don't lose no focus, boy. That is a good thing that's taking place. We don't want to see them. And look, them put up the fence. Them give us land. Right? But I had my secret thoughts too. And my secret thoughts was telling me that, oh my gosh, Lasana, every single thing that you wanted. Because I had the same dream as Lyndon. Not in a social way, but in a private way. I wanted us to really live as brothers up here. I would have loved for my girls to grow up together with Lyndon girls. And I'm still hoping that God is going to...
We wanted them to go to school together.
We wanted them to go to school together. Right? But it did not happen. Right? So it was tough. It was tough for me to see that wall go. But of course I had to hold my position, and I went to the back and say, hey, you could build this wall high like Mount Everest. I say my mouth big and I will make noise here every day in all your head. I say, all you can't stop my voice. All you could build, whatever all you build in there, build it soundproof. Because I will be terrorizing all you. I will be terrorizing all you.
So you had your ability to cope was affected as you saw it going up.
Yes. Which will lead to that day when the unthinkable happened and I destroyed my home. Lyndon is up here, I wanted to come up and mash up, you know. And when I reach in front here, I pull that piece of PVC. I pick up an old couch. I say, I want your couch. And I take it and I fling it to the gallery.
Yes, it's
a couch, right? And then something tell me, boy, hey, Sana, you cannot do this to your brother, boy. You cannot do this to your brother. And you know something? Just as he said, that's what I tell you, that was a God-directed plan. Remove yourself from the situation. And watch me, guys, it turned against us. It turns against us. And havoc broke out. Havoc broke out. Guys, let me tell you something, eh? And who want to hear, hear. And who want to heed, heed. But you see, evil intentions, it will always turn against you. You take what I'm telling you. You have evil intentions, you are destroying yourself. That's what they always say. You're digging a hole for other people, but you're going to fall into it.
Sana, excuse me.
Yes, my brother.
So you're comfortable just talking openly about all within reason. All within reason.
As I say,
all within reason. I am trying to piece together that timeline in my head here.
Yeah, you are. I'm going to look at no Kim leave something here for me to eat.
Yeah. Hey, thanks to Kim.
Oh gosh.
This is sorry. Can I speak comfortably about you? When you bring up when you destroy your home, so I can ask a question about that. You don't have to answer it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. I should have done that once.
No, that's fine now. When you destroyed your home here, is this the? Had you been in St. Anne's already?
No. It's when I destroyed.
No. Something wrong with the timeline here, no?
No, nothing wrong with the timeline, brother. What happened is the
No.
fence went up. Let me tell you, the fence went up. Y'all was still in Cuba.
Right.
Y'all was still in Cuba.
Right. Construction wasn't taking place at that time.
Construction didn't take place at that
Okay,
time.
good. So we dealing with the first time.
Yet.
Okay.
And then, that is when I recognize. Okay, so what really confused you there in true is this, that when I talk about the wall and the impact it had on me.
Right.
But when that wall started to build,
yes. So we need to rewind a little
is
bit.
where I would have come out of scene. Yeah.
Okay, good. So
what affected me really is, even though I had my plan and okay, well, the fencing we in here, right? It did have an impact on me.
Good.
It did have an impact on me.
Good. So the fence went up. You destroy your home. We haven't started any construction as yet. And on the heels of that, you are taken to St. Anne's, where you will spend 3 or 4 days the first time.
Yes.
I have the timeline correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let me give you some deets, because I guess listening to this, Kimberly in the background.
Well, that one I want to say, because
is really
remember,
good at archiving stuff.
I was fuzzy, very fuzzy.
Okay.
At that point in time.
All right, nice. So let's deal with. Oh, there's a bright white light. Let's deal a little bit, because there's something that I would like to chat about, and I'm going to chat about it within reason as well. This has to do. This is around the 5th of June. What year? 2020.
2021.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, some time passed by. And you know what we should leave out of the story as well? You know, your exit from St. Anne's on the second occasion, and that healing process between brothers and what it looks like. Because I can think about different times I already tried to extend myself to you as you were sitting down. But we'll come to that in a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're dealing here with the 5th of June 2021. Lasana destroys his home, and somewhere on the heels of that, he is sent to St. Anne's. We are still in Cuba. Kimberly and I are still in Cuba. We haven't started construction on the house. So the timeline kind of jumping, like Inception. That night, we are in Cuba. You know, we get this word here. Plenty phone calls, eh? I don't know what disturbance in our family is like. Plenty phone calls taking place. And I told Kimberly, I say, here's what. We should use the opportunity to go up the road. Our home hasn't been opened for a very long time. And let me just go and see what the scene looking like, right? I'll give you a story about the microwave behind you. Kim, let me know if it's okay to tell the story of the microwave. The 5th, we're taking the story back to the 5th of June, which is the time you destroy your home.
That is that date.
That is that date.
Right.
So you're kind of AWOL. Nobody really know where you are at this point in time. Yeah, it was really kind of AWOL as well, right? And we're not too sure, plenty phone calls taking place. And Kimberly has an uncle that I would like to mention. Kim, that was on the 5th of June that was happening? Right. Lasada is AWOL. We have no idea where Lasada is. Things will eventually lead to him, going to St. Anne's. I get a call from a neighbor in Trinity. Thanks very much for the call, really appreciate it. Get this call. Hey, Lasada boy. Lasada Tida in parked up in Tunapuna. We had no idea where Lasana is. I said, Kim, let me go and see if we could kind of help fix this vehicle, get it at least my daddy and them. We go and get the vehicle, the back glass, busway. I had two thoughts, Kim, if I could go in our car, the way things going right now, anybody could, could frame us. I might with a very good intention help our brother.
This happening in the night?
No, this is the morning, like early in the morning time.
Oh.
Right? Bam! We get the car while I drive it home with the car, the back glass, bus. It was busted already. So I drive in our car, of all cars to be driving, I think with a busted back. Right? Bam! I make her drive that somehow came along El Dorado Road. Right? Leading to Force Cutters. I see the Santa motorbike park up. The chain on the ground. What's going on here, boy? Went back with my brother-in-law, who I mentioned previously. With my van, we pick up the motorbike. We carried by daddy. We pick up your Tida. We carried by daddy. All this happening in the background, my brother. I don't know if you know all this. What is the things that happening? And somewhere in the mix, because the house was empty at that point in time. And please, I'm telling a story here. And the story is, be careful when you help a brother. Be careful when you extend yourself to help somebody you love. And I will be as wise as I could be with my words. And I have no problem being very frank, because there are certain records that exist. And I have no problem with that. A thought crossed my mind, because Kimberly's uncle accompanied me so that we will kind of spend a night here. The very night on the 5th of June, where you destroy your home, I decided to return home with Kimberly's uncle. Right?
That same night?
That same night. I have no idea where you are. But that same night.
So, when you came, the place
yes,
done
the
havoc and you didn't see me.
The place havoc. Walking up the side of the
I
fence.
didn't know you come up here.
Walking up the side of the fence. I look into your garage area. I see your woodworking tools exposed. I see different assets that I know you have just invested perhaps thousands of dollars to pursue this dream of having a workshop. Somewhere along the line we get word that you are.
I was close the boy. This time I flare out and
Yeah, and bust that thing there. That is what, you should really open that.
Alright.
No, I mean you could open it, but that's weird. The key thing to note here is that Lasana, I can't get the dates exactly, but he is in St. Anne's for the very first time. He is in St. Anne's. No doubt. He has no communication with the outside world. We know that somewhere along the line, but that should happen on the morning, on the 6th of June or whatever. Right? So that's key, right? I have a quick question for you. did you have access to a telephone that you could call anybody to give them certain instructions?
Boy!
Did you have access to data
No,
or a
no,
phone
no,
that you
no,
could
no,
make
no,
on
no.
live?
No.
So you are inside of wherever you are, and you have no access to the outside world, right?
Boy, all I know is I wake up in Mount Hope and I strap down to our bed.
Okay. Right. So
Right.
you know where he is. You know where I am. Come the house. It's amazing when you leave a house unattended. You would think it would remain in pristine condition, eh? But there's a level of deterioration that
boy,
starts to
our house
step
is
in.
dead, boy.
Do you know, Lasara? I'm going to share a quick joke with you.
Let me go outside a minute and we will carry the food.
Sure? You have enough battery life?
Yeah, okay, to that up something.
Right. So Kim, let us clarify that we are here after you were taken to St. Anne's, right? You are inside, and you just verify for me
You have the keys on there?
that you have no access to the outside world, right?
No. Definitely
Nice.
not.
Because
I didn't even have a
Sometimes-
phone. I didn't have a phone.
sometimes we be talking about helping our brother. Sometimes you just have to be well careful of who you trust and the stories that you hear from them. And you regard people as family, and they just mightn't have your best interest at heart.
I get real trouble to come in this house, boy.
Hey!
Yeah,
Anyway, let that story for you.
yeah.
You could hold your hand low, man.
Yeah, that one's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Everybody don't know I doing here. I know eat some nice food here.
Yeah, boy.
Go ahead,
So-
because plenty of the puzzle missing here will be with us.
So we come. The sun is in St. Anne's. No access to the outside world. And I guess sometimes, people just want you to be held accountable for things that you're not accountable for. And are going to share one of the things that he was not accountable for. And they'll preach all the love in their heart. And what they do in the shadows. Come up to the home. Boy, I bust up on I just find a lot of things topsy-turvy. It was shocking to return to the house and see that in small little ways, certain creatures had become available that just through the absence and this house being locked up.
Right.
So, I tell Kimberly's uncle, his name is Winston. Winston, I don't know if you'll ever get around to watching this video or if you look at him, but special thank you to you for your support. So we come up here and I say, Winston, boy, my brother had real expensive tools on the outside there, boy. You see, we might have discussed it. I remember him saying it. Lyndon, boy, you might go there to help that man and something bad might come out of it, boy. You go in there with your best intention, I say, nah, boy, I can't. That man had drill, saw, that man pour everything. That man leave his job to pursue a dream, boy. I can't just watch tools being left carelessly and disappearing in front of the man. People go in and use the opportunity to take it. I say, here's what Winston. Tomorrow morning, God willing. Oh, in your Tida, when we picked it up, I had found a ring with about 3 house keys on it.
Right.
Right? We go in to your house, in the garage. I mean, when Sana said he destroyed his house to you all, if you haven't seen it, I don't think you could imagine what it's like. It is a shocking display. And my heart bleed for anybody that experienced that. And if per chance you're given to breaking up plate when you vex and mashing up thing, Please stop doing it. That is not a nice thing. It's not a nice thing. If you're into destruction through a form of expressing yourself, please consider the impact it has on you yourself and your loved ones. I never witnessed anything like that, to be honest with you. So I feel the trauma, if you want me to be fair, I feel the trauma that Lasana's wife, what's the big word it is used? Estranged wife, Melissa Baptiste. I feel the trauma that she and the children would have experienced. That could be.
Well, it can't be, Lord. I mean, at the end of the day, it happened, but it didn't happen in the presence.
It didn't happen in their presence. They went home.
They had feet up by practice.
Okay. So yeah, special thanks to neighbors who supported us. They weren't present when it happened.
Which already cheesy fact,
Yeah, traumatic, nevertheless. And I began taking tools that I find in the garage and storing it in the bathroom. I look for anything that I could secure it in the bathroom. So Sana has a bathroom by him, a nice little cubicle, and at the end of it, it was kind of, the tools were heaped up there as best as I could put it, and covered it with a shower curtain, right? I realized that the keys that are found in the teeter, none of them worked on any of the locks in the house. I'll give you a little bit more details. Every single lock in the house had been disabled, had been broken. So I found keys that none of them fit. The Sanais and Sintans, please don't forget that detail. Found keys, none of them fit the doors, and even if they had fit, it wouldn't work because the locks were broken. Secure the house as best as I could, and we say, well, the front door swinging is now on our lock. We need to bar this front door as best as we could. This is probably happening like about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, right? Hey, I will share a real spooky detail with you in a bit, boy. A real spooky detail, boy, Sana, boy. We put a bench in front of the door, and I just heap it up with random things that I could find. So if somebody came to the house during that time, the truth is they would have had access to the house, but it was more or less, that's as best as I thought I could protect it as a brother, to protect my brother's interest. And we exited from the compound. Winston and I jump into the car, and Lasana, from the time we start to make our exit to go back to Cuba, the tiniest set of cockroaches, boy, just start to crawl out of the vents in that car, boy.
Of your car?
Yes. Because no construction take place, it's still that driveway that's soggy with overburden when it rains. Roaches that start to, in the space, the drive between Cora here and Cuba, we kill about 35 cockroaches in that car. A tiny little roach, not a big purple kind of cockroach. Yeah, wait. So we reach home in Cuba by Kim's family, who are gracious enough to host us. Lasana and Sintans, but no outside contact. A reverse parking, and as a reverse parking, oh, I forgot a little detail. I forgot a really important detail. Around the time where we secured the place and we're leaving, I took the keys to your home and I put it On top of here, was the AC unit that is behind the outside, the condenser?
Yeah.
Yeah? I put the key that I found,
The compressor.
the compressor, on top of the condenser. I called your wife, and I said to your wife, she wasn't by the neighbor at that time, some other family member. I said to your wife, I have secured my brother's tools and the house as best as I could. All the locks are broken. The keys that we have secured, your Tida, that belong to you and your husband, we have secured Lasana's motorbike. I strongly recommend that you come and secure the house as soon as possible, because you all are at risk of losing certain assets, including a lot of expensive woodworking tools.
Right.
I put the keys on the compressor. I jump into my car with Winston and I drive to Hoover. And as I am reverse parking, my telephone rings. Kimberly was out doing something, but I knew she would be home shortly. I see the number. I pick up the telephone. Yes, hello, good day. Yes, sir, good day. Is this Lyndon Baptiste? Yes, it is. Okay, sir, this is Tunapuna Police Station. We have someone is here making a report that you have entered the home and that you have stolen a number of key assets that they would like returned to them. Be careful when you try to help our brother. Help with wisdom. Be guided by the Holy Spirit, or whatever God of your understanding you believe in. Because fortunately, Winston and I, guided by God, I want to take no praise for nothing. To say, I am ingenious in this way or that ever. No. I could hardly spell. When you extend yourself to help somebody that you love, consider all angles.
So wait. You see, and I guess I know why Lyndon probably sharing this with us. I was aware of this when I ended up coming out. The person did disclose to me that they went to the station, and basically it was a setup, right? It was a setup. It was a setup. And I remember you telling me, do you know that your wife tried to get me jail? And I remember what I told you.
Wait a minute.
I said, you should have really get jail. You should have really get jail. Right? But,
Oh gosh.
so,
Hey, boy, you're back
and I guess, no, just make sure, he might be barking, but I said, jail, you should have get jail in your tail.
Jail
Right?
in your tail.
A lot of mess, as all you will realize, a lot of mess take place in this family. And let me tell you one of the things that was expected of me. Right? Let me tell all you one of the things that was expected of me. Now remember, I am heavily medicated. I am all kind of mood stabilizers, Tegretol, this, that, the other. Thank the Lord, It has been almost 2 years since I am not taking this medication. Thank the Lord for that. I was in a zombie-like stage. You're quarreling with me. You're accusing me. You're giving a joke. I can't laugh. And I say, boy, what kind of life is ahead of me, boy? What kind of life is ahead of me? Where is the quality? Where is the quality of life? What is the quality of this life that lies ahead of me? I can't even laugh at a joke. Right? Many things has been planted in my head about what I did and what I didn't do. And do you know that you did so and so? Did you know you did that? You did this? Some of them I can remember, some of them I really cannot recall. I was like, you serious? So a lot of confusion has been placed in my mind. But I'll tell you the one thing that was expected of me. Lasana, I will really like it to be made known to your family. And I know that is the angle where Lyndon coming from here. And that's why he keeps saying, right? This is where he keeps saying that I want all it to bear in mind that Lasana was in St. Anne's. He had no contact where he could have formulated this plan with the other party, right? To concoct this whole police station report thing, right? In other words, he wanted all to know that this was the plan and game of this particular person.
Yes,
I had nothing to do with it, right? However, it was asked of me that Lasana, you need to clear my good name. You need to clear my good name. You need to let your family know. You need your family to know. And you also need to let my family know that you forced me to do all these things. You forced me, Lasana. You need to clear my name. And I turned to the person and I said, do you know how stupid that is going to look? Do you think that my family, even if I say that, they are going to hold me accountable for all these atrocious acts that has been committed by both you and I? All right, let me give you the satisfaction because I'm sure you're looking. Guys, mommy, daddy, all family members, friends, right? I would like you all to know that every single thing that has taken place, I control the minds of people. I am very good at controlling minds. And Lyndon boy, everything that other people do is really me, boy. I cause all of that, and that person really and truly don't have anything to do with that. So I take all the blame. I come like Acorn here this morning, you could put the blame on me. How stupid does that sound, guys? How stupid does that sound?
Especially when the evidence would show otherwise, right? But to bring back the story of brothers. I touch on something that I really think is an important takeaway for me in the future and for others as well. You be established. Be careful when you extend yourself to help. Some people we are also established. Sometimes you just really need to cut off certain things. So you and your brother merely mightn't be able to patch things up. We understand.
Hold on a second, Lyndon. What's that number I see there?
333.
333, guys. We will always be stick on the 111. Big up to all the people, even though some of all them might be here for the correct reason, but thank you for bringing such a great number to the screen. 333. Big up all this whole self. That's a fantastic number, guys. You could Google it.
Yeah. So which segment now of the story? You hear me right?
Yeah.
Which segment of the story will be able to kind of focus on our relationship? Do we jump now to the construction of the house as is happening?
Well,
Or that not necessary?
no, to be honest with you, right? To be honest with you, Linda, I have basically.
All right. So let me.
touched on everything that I wanted to.
Okay.
And you feel free, my brother. You feel free because I want to say something, which is this. I have worked very hard since last year, December. It has been my desire that I want to bring content to the people and not emotions. I want to be able to create,
Right.
hopefully, like nice videos in the form of with that kind of movie flavor to it.
Right.
That's the direction I really wanted my channel to go into. But the time has come where we have to address
Yeah.
a particular situation. And
Yes.
we doing it in terms of, trying to focus on brothers.
And the decisions parents have to
And the
make, which is
decision,
something
right?
that we talked about as
Good.
well, right?
I do not necessarily care
To recount. Okay.
to
Good.
have in the future. I do not really want. I believe in privacy. People may think otherwise, but I had to do all that I did. So if you want to take this opportunity, because I'm not looking forward to doing a live like this anyway in the near future.
Okay.
So use this as your opportunity on my platform. You say what you had to say, brother.
Okay.
All right.
So let's deal a little bit about after the construction. After the construction would put us after the 6th of August, 2021. Lasana is, away for a month again and committed. Let me be real. He's committed to St. Anne's for a month again. He goes there. He receives his treatment. He does a very, in fact, boy, Sana, you do a real noble thing, boy. I thought it was a stupid thing you did, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I will say a noble thing that I thought you did.
What are you talking about?
The second time you come out of St. Anne's,
Yeah.
right? I'm telling you something that I thought you were stupid to do. Given all the things I saw and how I interpreted. Just like how I was frank with you and I tell you, I thought Daddy was making a real stupid decision.
Yeah.
But then I saw the wisdom of it. You think if somebody make a decision and then you're now able to see the wisdom of it being revealed in your eyes and watch me, the driveway where we wanted to put it and where it eventually ended up being on that private piece of land there, it was really the most sensible move that Daddy made. Right? I will touch on one thing again. When you mentioned that poetry or whatever, right? And you said, Daddy, please don't throw down that tree. And in the background, that's our brother. Being real honest to tell you here, buddy. I said, Daddy, in that moment, I whispered to my father, boy, push down that tree, boy. Push down that tree. You stupidness, you conceding to that, man.
You come like the bad angel and you have on the left shoulder.
But I tell Daddy that in that moment, I said, boy, push down that tree, boy. I didn't see the wisdom of it now. But when you look at our father and you see the mercy of our father, boy, and to know that, let me say I believe God gave Daddy that vision to leave that tree there, right? So the lesson that I take away from that, since you mentioned it, is be careful what you're whispering in your brother's ear. Be careful what you're whispering in your father's and mother's ear. You might be whispering things that's stirring contention with your brother. Yeah, mommy, do this to them. Yeah, daddy, man, tell them who them really feel this. Be careful what you're whispering. I am guilty of whispering some terrible things. I admit one that so I feel embarrassed.
Nah, but that is freedom, boy.
I feel embarrassed to admit that.
You free yourself.
Given what that tree meant to you, the decision that he made, I whispered in my father in the heat of that moment, push down that tree, boy. I utter things to the sun on that day. You know, people get in your talks. Man and woman get in your talks. Sometimes as a human being, you feel, I could really control my move. I really had to take that. And I say something to the sana. And Daddy put his hand on my shoulder. But I remember that I was standing up on Daddy's right hand. I standing up on my father's right hand and I talking shippiness. In the heat of our moment, I say something to the sana. That was our unkind reminder. And Lasana put his hand on my shoulder and look at me in the midst of everything that happened and say, exercise more wisdom in them.
You know, you have me waiting. You want to tell me after if you want.
Exercise more wisdom.
Boy, what is that you tell me, boy?
He can't even remember what it was.
No, well,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You understand? Be careful what you're whispering. That's a key takeaway from you mentioning that there. So that's one thing. I'll probably get a little bit sidetracked there, but I think it was really important to mention that point. And then
something else talking about. So it's two things about wisdom. So this thing with Daddy, and then
the driveway.
wisdom in something that I did.
Yes.
Wisdom.
When the son of Baptiste came out of St. Anne's on the second occasion,
Okay.
you know what the son of Baptiste did? The son of Baptiste, because his wife and his children, they were not at home. They were by some family member. I don't remember who. You know what the son of Baptiste did? And you could correct me if I'm wrong. This may even be against the doctor's advice to him. The son of Baptiste made it his active interest to retrieve a car that I don't think they had at the time. That is the car that Melissa Baptiste drives to transport the children to and from school. The son of Baptiste retrieved that car. The son of Baptiste put his effort when he should have been quietly recovered at home by mommy and daddy. He put his effort into going and retrieving his family and bringing them home. And there was a brief moment where I say, what a stupid decision that boy make. I'm being real little here. But boy, I have two daughters. I have a wife. And I would not want to see them displaced. And I understand what my brother did. And while back then, I thought he was stupid to do that, I hope that I will make the same decision for my family.
You will, boy. You will. Trust me. I mean, God forbid that you never be placed in a situation like that. But if that unfortunate time should come,
The son
the
of
love of your
Baptiste
children, boy, you will never.
brought his family home, the ancestral land. That's the word?
Yeah.
I'll be good, write it down. Right? He brought his family home.
And then his daddy self. We wake up early in the morning because I told her the night before. The first days when I went to retrieve the car. Right? And then
I told Daddy the night, I said, Daddy, we going up home. We had to clean out our house. And as you know, well, Daddy was still recovering from his heart attack. He still is, up to now, right? And Daddy and I came up. Lyndon, the house was in a mess. Because as you explained earlier on, the box of the house was damaged. The burglar proof was locked, but the front door was open. And the ducks, remember we had 3 ducks?
Yeah, they were dead.
2 ducks. No, they were alive. Them 2 ducks moved into the house, partner. Them live like king and queen for that month while I was inside of St. Anne's. Lyndon, there was duck mess all over the house, brother. But thank the Lord, the master bedroom door was closed.
Right.
And we pulled in the hose. I even cleaned the pool. I empty the pool. I say, you know something, when you hear them girls and them come home, let it be that they had the swimming pool full up. They could bathe, they could enjoy themselves. Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes you might see a brother, a sibling, a family member make a decision, and you really think, I'm being frank with you, Lasana.
Yeah.
As I expressed, I don't think so anymore. You provided for your family in a way that I hope I would provide for my family. So you know, I guess the conversations that you carry with one another, you really need to be careful as to, you know, sometimes you might be ringing down my head, but you real stupid, but you stupid, because I've never expressed that to you in any way. But I admit to you know what I thought, right? So the fence is up, construction has taken place, and there's Lasana mentioned earlier that he's a little heavily medicated during this time, and where, you know, like I would be passing to go different places. So boy, you want me to turn now? Of course, I'm speaking to him through our chain link fence, right? I good boy. Alright. Sana, you want me to turn now? Sana, I'm going to buy Mr. Harry, the boy. I'm going to buy bat 1 or 2 occasions he come with me. It was painful to see, and I just didn't know where.
And also, I would like you to add that many times you were making videos and you will ask me, you want to be in the video, boy? And I always decline. Sometimes people might hear my voice in the background.
Yes, so one of the times it went up is when we make that, you make this, Mr. Bat and Mr. Harry hard times in Trinidad. Remember you went on that occasion, you didn't see Lasana. We talk about snakes at Trinidad and Tobago, food on the land. You never saw Lasana. You probably must see a yellow jersey he was wearing, I don't remember. So there were occasions where, despite how you were...
I told him no camera on me.
Yeah, no camera on him, you know, and I just...
And listen, just like how the camera is not on me right now, but only hearing my voice, right? I was given instructions, my brother, that anytime I was seen on any of your videos, is either you're on them videos, meaning to say any of your family vlogs, or you're on Ellis Food Island. That was the decision that I had to make.
So with your times we may have been together and
Why
you'd be comfortable on it.
But you know I love camera. I always wanted to be on them vlogs. But I had a hard decision. Remember?
Yeah.
You talk about them, whatever little family I have left. I don't want to spoil it. You could go up with him, you know. But I'm telling you, don't let me see no video, eh? And the day it had the landslides is the day I decided to come out of that shell. I decided to come out of that shell. And you say, Sana, I'm making this video here. I go and focus on some of the landslides and what the flooding did to Cora.
Flooding in Cora.
Right? And I just decided, I started to tape at first.
You remember that video started off and you see some smoke? I had a cigarette in my hand, right? Good. And as we moved along, something come inside of me. And I see, Lasana, you're going to be on this video here today.
What encouraged you to liberate yourself, so to say?
Well, then, boy, since I came out and now I was trying to recover, I spent a lot of time trying to heal myself, a lot of praying and that kind of thing. And I was starting to recognize that, hey, I had to break free, boy. I have to break free from this bondage which I am under. But I could tell you this. When we return home, well, usually you will make a video and next 3 months you go edit that and you post it up. Lo and behold, Lyndon, boy, you make my heart skip it up. By the time I go on inside, excuse me, by the time I go on inside, take my little bed, drink my little coffee, and I lie down on that bed. I used to be checking all the channels, I studying people's channels from way back. In terms of like analytics and them kind of thing, right? When I gone on your channel, brother, and I see that video post up, I was like, nailing that. What you doing it to me here, boy?
Wait, what are you concerned about?
But remember, I have an ultimatum, which is, hey, anytime I see you do any vlogs with them, that is it now. You're not on my channel anymore.
What do you mean I included shots of you that you didn't want to
I
include?
was in the video, I started to talk about pool one and
Right,
and
right,
the
I
pumps
know.
and them kind of
Also,
thing.
you didn't want me to include that footage?
I wanted to be on the video, but I didn't think that you was going to post it that
So
very
soon.
day.
Right, right.
Right? So when I see,
And it was a hot topic because it was about flooding in Trinidad, right?
well, boy, that is what make it worse.
What
Sorry.
Yeah, man, ash me there.
Here now.
I feel like I'm all
Hey.
cable out of my face.
Lyndon, let me tell you this now. Let me tell you this, right? When you post up the video, I say, alright, well, let me see how the video going to go. Well, partner, I ain't lying to tell you. I don't know if it's the title you put to the video, because back then it had plenty flooding take place that year.
This is last year, Sana, 2023, right? This is last year, this is
No
happened.
boy.
Yes, but it's...
Yes, last year we talking about. Last year we talking about just before I started opening up Mr. Sana 3D for Life. Boy, well, I'm monetizing this video now. I go on, I see 500 views.
Click, click.
I go on back again, 1,000 views. I say, let me check this thing for a while, boy. I go on, I try to lie down. Right? Boy, when?
So your brother get in trouble.
When I go on back and check the video, 4,000 views. Well, boy, let me tell you something. That day, partner, Riot Act read. Riot Act read. Guys, by the following morning, that video had over 30,000 views.
Yeah, wake up feeling sick.
I feel like somebody pushed their hand down in my throat,
Scratch it.
hold my guts and start to knead it. I say, Sana, you ain't because it's one thing. I was not supposed to make any videos with you. That was the command. And there were consequences to it. So listener, it's the first time I see a video going up and I'm praying for anything not to get no views, boy. And that turned out to be the blockbuster. Well, partner, after that, I had no choice but to, Lyndon, I cannot be in any more of your videos. Until I gather the strength and I open up my own channel. And let me tell all you something. I had been begging. Show me how to do the editing now. Oh gosh,
Relax now, relax yourself, relax yourself. You're confusing me. Only give me space now. Gosh, only crowding me. So, Lindan came by me a day. I said, Lindan, bring on Haley and Anna now. I went and I find out from the boss lady. I said, they could come down? Yes, they could come. Just make sure no wildness there. You know, there's this girl wild in the pool. I say, all right, good. So while we there now, I start asking Lindan questions. I say, Lindan, I say, here what going on? You better laugh. You better laugh. Yeah, right? I say, Lindan, I say, now boy. It have any way I could learn to edit videos on my phone? Yes. So we come and we download CapCut. Hey, I want to big up CapCut, eh? That's why I don't ever cut out CapCut in the end of my videos. Of course. Listen, CapCut has created a tool for me, and I think in all fairness, at the end of my videos, I always leave that CapCut. Because they have given me a tool that has brought so much entertainment to everybody. Right? So I always leave the CapCut in the ending. People say, boy, why the cut of that? No. CapCut has given me a tool for free. So big up to the creators, owners of CapCut. Right? I want to thank you all so much. I know so many other YouTubers new on the scene using the CapCut. Anyway, so I started asking Lindan little questions. Now listen here, guys. Remember, there's still a little strain here between Lindan and us. And I started asking Lindan, I said, boy, show me how to do this now, boy. Show me how to hold the camera. My hands only going in front of the screen, that kind of thing. And let me tell you something. My counterpart was there in the company of guests. And I get one look like that. Guys, you know what I did? I said, Lindan, excuse me a minute, eh? And I went inside to wait for my buff up. And I know exactly where I had to go. I entered the room and I got the blowout of my life. No, I wouldn't disclose this. But that person was also in communication with a very well-known person. And that person, I've mentioned this before, that person heard every single thing. I do not want to see any of my children in your videos. You are no longer a part of my production. And that's why Olive was not seeing me on that channel anymore. And people were there saying the nastiest of things. Look at you, YouTube gone to your head. You don't even want your children on your channel. The support of the person that make you known. I was banned from that. I was banned from that, guys. I so will love to have all my daughters in my vlogs. I was making clips and I have the evidence in my phone. I was making little clips to put on Facebook because I know I can't put it on YouTube. And the person came outside. I do not want you taping my children. My children, my house, my car, my pool, my this, my that. Right?
So, as a brother,
take over the mic, Linda, buddy.
As a brother,
you know, the microphone.
You had to teach your we had to learn from one another.
My husband.
And I was really happy to have the opportunity to teach my brother. I think I'll do about that. Listen, he knows definitely more about CapCut than I do. He knows about, if he's 100 features, I only had the privilege to teach him about 3. How to add a video, how to cut a video, how to export a video.
Yeah, that split was kind of hard for me.
So I just want to, learning, knowledge, empowerment is things that I believe and I stand with. I have had the privilege. God has given me the privilege to even suggest to Farmer Harry create a channel.
You really never wanted the glory for yourself,
and
you know?
he is slowly learning things.
Yeah.
I will one day. I installed recently. Because here the interesting problem, Mr. Harry, you end up with it in
You want
Antigua.
anything inside?
Bring some water for me now, please. So we'll come back on track in a little bit. Sandra is going to get some water there. And Mr. Harry went to Antigua and he bring back his clips. But what he would do is he would tape like these, like how daddy and mommy, they tend to tape videos. They do one long stretch and they'd upload it so that they don't have to cut and get too tied up in new technology. So when Harry went to, I think it was the Devil's Bridge in Antigua, he taped about like 3 or 4 different segments and he said, but I have a problem. I don't want this to be uploaded as 4 different videos. I want one video out of here. I said, all right, Harry. This is what we had to do. And install it for him before he went actually, where is I put CapCut on his phone. The same tool that Lasana talking about. So Mr. Harry, very shortly, in the will of the Lord, will be graduating to taping his own videos, stitching them together, and then we'll be teaching them. It's a very straightforward process. He does not familiar with it. How to upload his own video to YouTube. So it is you know, I don't mean brother here or sister in the sense of a blood relation, but I always, one of my core beliefs is that, and it is going to come across selfish, yeah? This is going to come across selfish. It's the best way I know to express it. If somebody has a better word, then they could always leave it in the video. A real kind of core belief for me is that when your life go better, if we are collaborators and team players, friends, family, when your life better, somehow my life could be better too. And what I could do to improve your life, not you alone going and enjoy it. That is the case with all people, apparently. And there are a lot of things that I said to Sana earlier that I am very happy for this experience because I have been naive to a lot of things. I continue to be naive, and I have a champion wife who is skilled in the ways of the Kuva life. That's a joke. And has taught me a lot about human relations and interactions and things that I just missed growing up. And I really appreciate my wife. I really appreciate the things that she teaches me a lot, and the very little I know, I try to teach her as well. So one of the core takeaways from this, to bring it back to Lasana's video and CapCut and teaching them those things, it was my privilege to teach him so that he is now equipped and could enjoy a better life. And I see the things that, can you imagine? Mill this question around in your head. Because some people fight in the shadows. Can you imagine if Lasana didn't learn YouTube? Can you imagine if he didn't have a means to express himself? You have the opportunity, regardless of what you thought about him and expressing himself, and he should have been private. You have the opportunity to go back into the archives, go to the YouTube videos page, sort this from oldest to newest, choose the videos that you like to watch, and when you look at our video today with him walking down Cora, walking through, you now see someone who has, from a moment sitting down learning CapCut from your brother instead of somebody else, you see the growth of somebody who is thinking creatively. I want to bring something better to the viewer. So you have people who already start a YouTube channel. You have the opportunity to see them grow. Whether the growth is honest and honorable, that's for you to determine. So CapCut. You learn CapCut.
Big up the CapCut, boy.
Yeah. What else can we talk about in terms of brothers? You learn CapCut. I think we already start working together a little bit more. Eh?
Yeah.
We start working together because you were at the phase of learning. I had a little bit of a head start on you. So I had the opportunity to say, to teach you 1 or 2 things. You started, and I get to see, I mean, he probably not quite there, and I need to be mindful, I guess. But I get to, you actually saw something mentioned in the live last night, is that Lasana, excellent times. I see Lasana start to doubt himself, boy, with certain things. around that period, you say that I was trained, but come over the chair and show me CapCut. I realized now you would invite me because you wanted to learn CapCut. But you know, the weirdest thing that happened, Sarah, you know, it's a real weird moment when you were at home. That's the timeline I just want to use. You're using the word heavily medicated. So I'm just using the term heavily medicated so you, the viewer, could have a sense of the timeline I'm talking about, right? I remember Lasana asking me a question about plumbing, boy.
Yeah, boy.
That was as simple as an elbow gluing. And I said, what? I said, what? Sana, let's talk to this answer there. One second.
Boy, my brother.
I remember Lasana asking me a question
I
about
did, man.
plumbing.
Everything cool?
It was baffling. Handy. I mentioned the house. I mentioned building
Hey,
the house.
he's saying like the video stuck.
Don't make joke.
All right. Well, we'll ask the audience if they
Is
experienced
the
it
video stuck, folks? Can you all see what's happening? I didn't see. I'm not really gauging the comments.
Michael say it's stuck on your big face.
Well, it is
So,
on my.
so is it
People in
is
the
it
chat,
still
if you could
buffering?
just indicate if you're seeing the video is not stuck, the video flowing freely, or no, viewers say it's running.
Michael? It might be on your end because people say that it's still running smoothly for them. So maybe it might be something with your internet connection or something. Yeah. Yeah, man. So how things? You at work? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So,
Good.
so Lasana
Yes,
started
yes,
to ask
definitely.
me.
Yes. All right. Cool, man. Thanks for the update. Yeah, man. Blessings.
With a caution.
No.
Okay. Lasana, who put it into perspective, a brother, 7 years older than me, given to handyman stuff, build his own home with a Rita, from foundation to finish, moves in, helps in ways that I can't repay him
No.
financially or no, I want to put it into perspective.
All right. Okay. All
That
right.
is not for-
Right.
Let's put it into perspective.
Right.
Help me in ways that I will never, unless I am gifted with $1 million or more, that I will be able to repay you for the strength and the skill that you lend to us.
All right.
Not just you others, but we focusing on this aspect right here. And I look up to my brother, you know, man. I look up to my brother, you know, and that is why when my mother, you know, see me bawling and I didn't know I was bawling. I was bawling because of this. There was a moment where Lasana, I felt like it was the first time I had to face Lasana in a serious situation. Lasana disowned me as a brother. He said, I disown you as a brother. And the person standing behind them celebrated. The celebration was grand.
You know, and in keeping.
And-
Yeah. Sorry.
and-
Sorry.
When I started to bond is because of that aspect that I didn't understand. That I had this, there was this open community in my heart with our love. And yeah, we just get one another talks and we say we falling out and that type of thing. But suddenly your heart being rewired in a way that, okay, this is about independence, and this place, my heart, needs to be refenced in a way that it includes love, but it also includes boundaries and understanding and the distance that you have to expect in the future because of the support system and how it works. So fences went up in hearts and fences went up on a private access driveway it was intended to serve the entire community, the entire Baptiste community, that our grandparents had the wisdom to procure, to divide in a meaningful way. What was talking about again?
Well, before you went off on that philosophy,
It sound like I started.
you sound like Marcus Aurelius,
Who's he? The,
Stoic.
the man from Gladiator.
Marcus Aurelius, boy.
Keep on going. Real men as it is.
Real man. Yeah, no boy.
Yeah. Oh, so we're talking about CapCut and there's the aspect, the privilege, and you know, boy, sometimes I guess as I started to get a little bit wary of reaching out to Lasana. I did. As a brother, I started to get a little bit wary of reaching out to Lasana. And maybe you wary of reaching out to your siblings and your family in some way. Because you start to feel like a fool, you know. I reached out to you. I was the extra son of Kimberly once or twice. Every time I asked that man to go. I mean, I understanding of your situation, and you'll have some good days, you'll have some bad days or whatever, right? During that period. And I reaching out and I talking to the man through a chain link fence that
You know,
whatever.
you said something, which is
I don't know if you'll be able to hear you too good with that breeze, but you're saying this chair and
no, the mic right here, right? The thing that is said is, could you imagine the position that I would have been in if it was not for YouTube? And
13%.
what YouTube allowed me was my voice. And when you think about so many people, male and female, children, fathers, mothers, grandparents, cousins, when you think about so many people that may be under a spell of narcissism and they have no one to reach out to, just imagine that the person that has taken control over your mental state in terms of having you institutionalized, that kind of thing, is the person that is responsible for you being in that position. The person that has the authority to say X, Y, and Z, because I'm in control of your mental care. And they are the person that have you there. There are a lot of people going to remain stuck in this, sadly, for the rest of their life.
The Sana boy, God has blessed you. We need to go inside and start the charge there shortly.
I think I am, to be honest with you,
You're tired?
I am a bit tired. I am unable to do these extremely long lives again.
Okay, well,
Right?
there
But
is.
you could feel free to keep
You'll hang
going.
around with me or you're going and sleep?
No, sleep.
All right.
We are across the cottage. But let me just say something before you go inside. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Lyndon
You
also
can't go
for.
quite yet, you know.
No. I will still be around, but I'm taking this opportunity to say thank you everybody that is locked on. Right. I am Lasana Baptiste. Glad to be able to share with y'all, enlighten y'all a bit as to what y'all may be seeing. The purpose of it, we do not want anybody to misconstrued.
No, well, they can go ahead and check.
Right,
this
well,
way.
whatever, right? But this is our side of the story.
From our
So,
brother
from
point
a
of-
brother point of view, and yes, God is good. As I say, I am unable. My days for over talking on YouTube is long gone, guys.
It is plug in this way. Folks, just bear with me for a second, please. I started to feel like I like to talk, boy, Sarah.
Guys, what?
that channel. Especially the voices that have been silent over the years.
Or have chosen to remain silent. Yeah. You within earshot that they can hear, man?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Sana has built a very careful picture of what is taking place at the point in time when he starts making YouTube videos. The evidence is there. As I mentioned, you all could see the progression of the person. Some of you all may view it as the decline of the person, the depreciation of the video. However you interpret it is entirely up to you. Somewhere, so I could really only start this when you hit. So I'll just pause for a second. You have already outlined how your living situation starts to change when you started making videos.
Right.
Now I am not going to go into details on your personal affairs.
Right.
But I could just talk about how, as a brother, our home came to be open to you. Not how it came to be, but being there for our brother. That's the essence of it.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I go watch them just now. I need some wisdom next to me.
Yeah, but keep talking on that song.
Let's give us brief minute.
This will take about 5 minutes, sir.
Hey bro, come on, give them Wednesday song, please, I'm begging. Let me wrap up this conversation. Okay. What I would like to touch on, now this is not from a point of view of scoring point system, right? The essence here is being there for a brother or a sister.
Right.
Nice. So if you could just kind of jump ahead, you start making videos, that type of thing, and it'll be somewhere, I guess, in like April 2023 that you would end up by us.
Right.
Right? We don't need to get into the details of how you get by us. Well, the extent of that is entirely up to you.
Right. No, because I would have touched on that already.
Right. So
in our previous slide.
So people know the circumstances of that. But this idea of hello, I am so sorry to do this, but is it possible to call you back? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so you touch on some of them details. And in the moment, Lasana, I guess you presented to us that, hey, is it possible to be with you all? Is it possible to spend some time with you all?
Yes.
Okay? And you ever see somebody ever try to discourage you from supporting your brother? Somebody ever try to discourage you to be careful of who you're letting into your house, you know?
I have been.
Psychiatric patient, you know? You could think about the list of other things you may have heard from Lasana or elsewhere. Be careful, you know? The same thing, has anyone ever done that to you?
Who came to do you that?
No, Kim didn't do me that. I had a conversation.
Right.
Has
You
anyone,
kind of lost me there, you know?
has anyone, dear viewer, has anyone discouraged you from supporting your brother? On the heels of all that has happened? On the heels of all that I have shared? Has that ever happened to you?
I think it will have to be because
I and all get a little mixed up. when
No,
you're
well,
talking
I am
about-
speaking to the viewer here.
Right.
Their
because I
viewer,
think you-
has anyone ever stopped you from supporting your brother? Have they ever urged you to be careful of how you open your doors and your heart to your brother? And he is now faced with the whisperings in the air and the antagonisms that come with it, and the jeering that comes with it, and all that he has said. Remember? He tried to get a lock up while he was in St. Anne's and didn't have a phone? Really? I mean, that's slow. But my wife reminded me of the circumstances. Sowing the seeds of this content. I see that pop up there. And the conversation didn't have to be very long with Kimberly. The conversation didn't have to be long with Kimberly at all. Maybe I didn't even have the conversation with Kimberly. I say, hey, you probably need to support Lasana here, boy. Well, Lyndon boy, that's your brother, and I trust that I have seen some, growth in him, and I feel safe around them, and I am sure I feel safe with my girl children around them. And Lasana would stay with us for about a month. And we have quietly we have outlined a long list of things here that go on even before 2021 if you want. We have outlined a long list of things. And my wife, I said it earlier, she was the one listening to the voice notes. She was the one getting the videos. And she take that and she say, you could open the door to your brother, boy. Are you okay with it? Yes. So I don't know if there's a lesson in it from the point of view of maybe you are an in-law looking on at a relationship between two brothers or two sisters. And, support should, I guess one of the preambles for support should always take the form of security and safety, that it doesn't compromise. I outlined some stories here today that could have compromised safety. And I guess if that person, it all boils down to a chance. I mean, I sit down here, things have happened between Lasana and I, and I guess I am taking a chance with him right now as our brother, and he will continue to take chances in different ways with me. But I am so happy because where Lasana would be otherwise, boy. In April, you have a man, you have a brother here who fighting up with, what's the word you just use? I don't even know, it's stigmatism. You're stigmatized. Mm-hmm. The stigma of something. You have a man who is ostracized some way from a house that he built with his hands without the help of his second wife. You have all that. You have somebody who trying to prevent accommodation at his brother's home. Who fighting up with, I don't know if this happened, I'm taking a wild guess here, right? You're probably on medication and you come off of it and you're wondering, or you're hearing maybe, you start to behave kind of different. Or you yourself start to think, I wonder if everything lining up the way it's supposed to line up. You would have had real doubts in your heart. At times.
And I see this, I think this opportunity to say this, especially for people who have been stigmatized, whether it's because you are in constant need of psychiatric care or visiting a psychologist, you may have been placed in a mental institution, right?
One of the most demeaning things that you could do to a person is constantly remind them. As soon as you see them in some little confrontation with you, you take it as an opportunity to say, hey, Lasana, hear this now. You're sure everything is alright with you? You're moving off key, you know. You think you need to go back to St. Anne's? And when I open my channel, Mr. Sana Trini for Life, hey, you are getting on very strange, you know. You need to go to St. Anne's, you know. I will take the opportunity today, because we are already in deep. I take the opportunity today, and once again, I have evidence of it. Right? The day that my phone was grabbed from my hand and thrown into that swimming pool, the Tunapuna police station was called in the presence of Lyndon. And let me show you how, and it's so amazing that the police are so well trained. Hello, I am so and so, wife of Lasana Baptiste. I live at so and so address. My husband is an outpatient of St. Anne's. You'll need to come up here immediately. I am under threat. I have been physically assaulted. You'll need to come up here. You'll also need to organize with St. Anne's to bring up an ambulance. He needs to be taken down to be treated. And I looked at Lyndon and I said, Lyndon, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. But police are not stupid. You calling, you are under attack by an enraged madman, and you are so able to give all those details. Listen now, I was in a situation already, one that had me out of it, and they will ask my name. The person asked me my name. I could not even remember my name. When your mind goes in to a state of total confusion, you forget details.
Seriously.
But you will forget your name.
I could just pause it for a second.
But you could pause me forever.
When your pants here, that chicken for me.
But I was now washing up the pot to go and cook the chicken for you.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead and wash the pot and
Nah,
I start to get hungry listening to your dog, right?
yeah. So man, I am telling you, right? I am telling you, to be living in a situation where you fighting, and thanks for the love, guys. Thanks for the love, right? When you fighting to regain your sanity, and there is somebody crying you down, a neighbor, oh, he's a madman, just because they just want to hurt you. What are you doing to this person? Guys, let me tell you something. Expect nothing of no man, you know. And you won't get hurt. It is our expectations of people, because of whom they may have presented themselves as initially. It is our expectation. That is what causes us to get hurt. We are expecting better.
When
do I exist?
That is so true. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but our reality, people listening will know, is a reality that these are situations that I endure with a brother, with a sister. I thinking about, in our live last night, you talk about is love that people want. We're talking about the end of days for somebody here. And how it is to picture, growing up with our brother, that when you go back to childhood, I think it's such an important moment because we have this idea that childhood was really, life was nice back then, right? Brothers, and it still appeals to me even years later, in my 40s here, that hey, life is nice with having a brother, and you could talk, you could kick and that type of thing. And put yourself in the boots of the person who is standing by and looking on at a brother that you love, being mindful that not everything that I see I could comment on because the person mightn't interpret it a particular way. And there may be a viewer inside of here that's looking on and saying, wait, boy, I do look at my brother enduring some hard situations. It might be at work, it might be different places, right? With a spouse, whoever the case might be. And that's a real painful experience. And that is, and it happens on both sides of the fence, right? If it's a marriage here we're talking about, it could be on the woman's side, it could be on the man's side, and you're just looking on through the chain link fence, boy, at all this that happening, at all that this person is being cheated from. You try to say a casual hello to your children. Yes, there's the psychiatric patient. There's the psychiatric patient compromising our safety. And you are enjoying the mercies and the graciousness of people who, not us, of the executor that has provided you with this community road, that has made it almost a private access area. Certain facilities and utilities that you have, nothing is being brought up. And people quietly looking on. Your mother and your father, and this is a general conversation, eh? Our mother and our father looking on, our brother and sisters, and this man and this woman, we talk in general, have no access to the house that they build. They have no access to their children. You're quietly looking on, and a certain narrative is being preached on this person. The narrative in the background and the refined narrative in the foreground. This is the mother, this is the father who loves his children. He says he loves them. And look what he's doing. Compromising their safety. So sometimes it is a painful experience to look on and see your brother endure something. See children endure something. See children lose access to one another and stick their hands to play through a chain link fence. To satisfy you? You?
Sad.
So,
Very
you,
sad.
in your own way, dear viewer, we have touched on a number of things that deal with youth. We have touched on things that deal with expectations from our brother, support from our brother, discord that comes, whether it's between the two brothers directly or the outside influence of support systems. That could take different forms. We have talked about being wise when you're helping a brother. We have spoken about redemption. We have spoken about safety, the pain of looking on. But then sometimes you just need to become active in some way. And if there are situations that you need to become active with, I pray that God will guide you safely in your decision making, and that it will lead to some road of redemption and justice.
I want to take our opportunity here. I know that the team is brothers. But I can't help it. I am moved. Her name has not been mentioned a lot because she tried her best to stay out of it because she was a direct target. She would have been identified by the person as a very important part of my love circle. My mother, mommy, as I fondly call her.
over the years, the one or two mistakes, that my mother, one woman who I know surely loves me. If it's one woman I know truly loves me, is my mother. And the one or two mistakes that my mother would have made in that last year before I would have entered St. Anne's, that has been replayed in my head 1,000 times. And even upon returning to my parents' home, there was a lot of strain, and you all could go back and see it in the videos. There was a lot of strain between my mom and I. And it has only been about a month ago, guys, that I was able to really look my mother and tell her, looking into her eyes, Mommy, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I stopped believing in you. I am so sorry that the one or two little things that you did, that my mind was able to be manipulated against you. And now, Mommy and I, the chains have been broken. And I cannot help but share, because I know that my mother is a big part of our smear campaign. And I want to bring clarity, and I'm doing this in honor of my mother. And all the things that all the pain that I caused to my mom. My mom has tried on numerous occasions to visit that home. I would like to bring up a little KFC treat. Okay, no problem, so and so date. One day before the date, sorry, Louise, we had prior engagements. And I kept telling Mommy, I said, Mommy, stop putting yourself in this position, please. It affects me. Because I know the games that are played always give you hope and then yank it away from you. This is the pleasure that is brought to this person. And it has hurt me every single time. Well, my big sister made arrangements to be able to come, because she has been trying to keep the communication open with her, and encourages my mom, Mommy, listen, forget about everything that girl, just come, as though Mommy was doing that willfully, siding with me. Mommy has not been siding with me. So anyway, Mommy just went along with it. Okay, I'll go with you. Lasana, do you have anything to send for the girls? I have a little toy car, a police car, a remote control. Suri asked me, she said, Daddy, you could buy a police car for me for Christmas, but it must have a policeman inside the car. I said, well, Suri, I know where I'll get that. I went down to Dinesh Day. I made some vlogs down there with Dinesh, and Azisha was with us. And when I was heading back home, when I went to meet Hanifa, right, by Bid's Kitchen, when I was passing back through, I saw a guy selling some toys on that road that goes down to the cremation site. And I see a police car, and I stop and I buy it. So I watch it, I say, Mommy, I'll send it up with you. And then I came back and I say, Mommy, I don't think I should send this car. I said, but here's what I would like it to do. Previously, Previously, Lisa was going up for Suri's birthday. And she asked me if I wanted to come. And I said, Lisa, I don't really think you understand the situation. She said, Sarah, so you're telling me you didn't want to go for your daughter's birthday? And I was like, Lisa, do you really understand what is going on? She said, but is your daughter? I said, Lisa, you do not understand what is going on. You do not understand what's going on. I said, but here's what. Please stop. I have a toy car to send. And I am also going to write 3 letters. I sit down, I wrote a letter to Sydney, Sadie, and Suri. And I put $200 in each of the letters. And at the same point in time that I was writing the letters, Brandon and Natalia passed. And I said, son, I'm writing some letters, and Lisa is going to pass here. And I'm going to give it. You think you can write your sisters a letter for me, please? And he sat down and he wrote the letter. So I had 4 letters. 3 from me, 1 from Brandon. Lisa will call moments later to inform me that Lasana boy will squash plans. I said I was expecting that, Lisa. She said, well, okay. Months later down now, Lisa is now going to try and revisit, and that's where she encourages mommy to let's go up, mommy. I kept back the toy car because I tell myself, you know something? Suri may only be harassing them to charge up the batteries, and I might be setting up something that's supposed to create joy, and it ended up creating havoc instead. So I decided to give mommy the letters. There was no money in the letters, right? Because I would have retrieved the $200 into which I placed in each of the envelopes. The 3 written by me. So I gave mommy the letters. And I instructed mommy, please mommy, give the girls these letters for me. I was talking to a very good friend while mommy went on this visit. And then daddy joined me. And I told dad, I said, Dad, there is trouble. There is trouble, Dad.
That's a gut feeling.
Just a gut feeling. Mm-hmm. I said, there is trouble. And he said, what do you mean? I said, there is trouble. That meeting is not going to end well. It wasn't 5 minutes later that mommy came around. And I looked at her and I knew it already did happen. I went there. Everything was going good according to plan. And when they were going down, before they went there, somehow or the other, they got Haley and Anna.
They asked if we could send Haley and Anna.
Lyndon and Kimberly both agreed, but I think they had, they would have had some discussion with their kids as to, listen, we do not want you all leaving Granny or Auntie.
Yeah, just be wise. That's why you're going there to listen to Granny and
right. You all are X, Y, and Z.
You're under
right? So they were given instructions.
Listen to your grandmother.
Lo and behold, the point reaches where mommy is sitting at the table. Some of the girls are down in the living room. Sydney is right next to mommy. And mommy pulls out from a plastic bag. Sydney, your daddy sent this. My letter was short like this. And I know my daughter is intelligent. She would have been able to read that in a millisecond. From the time she opened it, she would have read it. So that cannot be erased, what she would have seen there. And I can remember the exact message. Sydney, I hope you are doing well, darling. I always remember, all you need is love, hugs, and kisses, as the doctor prescribed. And that little girl, I am recounting now what mommy how mommy related it to me. While she was trying to read it, she was intercepted. What is that you have there, Sydney? And Sydney tried to bluff it out, but had to say, it's a letter. The place goes silent. And then the attack is launched. Louise, you are not to give my children anything without my permission. And furthermore, you are very disrespectful, right? I have orders that anything has to go through me. And that is a lie. I could tell you, I have all my documentation. That is a lie. Moments after, my mother was put out of the house. 3 little grandchildren, Sydney, Sadie, Suri, standing between my mom and these children's mom. Do not worry, girls. Just imagine this. All Louise Baptiste, Mama Lou or someone I like to call, and you are not to speak to my children, and instructs my sister, get her out of my house right now for me, please. Put my mother out of my home that I built, that I was willing to share through marriage. Disrespect to my mom to the highest degree. And what makes it worse, in the presence of our little daughters, my daughters, shame on you. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame.
I don't know what she processed. Haley, this is, but she came home crying, you know.
I remember while talking to mommy, you will have gotten a call at that point in time from Linda as to what exactly happened up there. Haley is home here and she's crying. And maybe you could pick up that part of the story so I can
No. But here,
I owe that to my mother to explain that this person must be ill speaking my mother all over the place.
Lasana,
but he had a truthful story there.
You said something at the beginning of sharing that story. You say this live is about brothers, but I am sharing this story to honor my mother, who has endured a number of hateful things from me and from my household, and continues to do so in the background. And Lasana, thank you for honoring our mother.
Yeah, right. They got to Louise parties.
You ready to pan say that chicken for her?
I'm trying to wash up this place before Miss Paddy come over. I'm trying to wash up this place. Now, but Linda boy, I'm glad that we really took the opportunity to really, as I told you in previous conversations, I do not owe.
Yes.
I do not owe anybody. Absolutely anybody. I do not owe anybody outside there. Supporters, don't take it no way.
Yeah, that's not an offense to you.
I do not owe anybody an explanation for my actions.
Yeah.
I don't.
There's
but I'm being courteous.
Yeah, and there's a distinction that is sometimes very difficult to make, especially when you're into vlogging, which is this is a public. I could share this publicly versus I don't want to create videos to fight private wars, you know. And I think that's why it was so important for us to frame this around the theme of brotherhood and parents protecting siblings, putting up fences, the strain that exists, the healing that could come, people that trample on the mercies of an executor, disrespects an executor's wife, and then that person now, okay, things are, you're actually slowly recreating, it seems, the scenario that existed in 2021. And perhaps it's time that some things change. So we were instructed. I have certain things that I could share with you all now, but I'm not going to. But we received careful instructions to start doing what we did. And
the Lord, we have been able to
by the grace of God,
in a peaceable manner.
we have been able to accomplish it in a peaceable manner. Of course, you know, whatever. I think I shared some things that I never planned to share in a public space. But I am happy that I did, because I think that it brings a little clarity as to what may have been happening in the background. Other people that are affected in a particular way. And I thank God for the opportunity to have parents that exercise wisdom. That's what forgiveness is. That try to instill spiritual values in us. That give us an example that we could look towards and say, you know, hey, this person, I'm talking holy books here now, holy book. Mm-hmm. This person has endured this. This is the lessons of love and wisdom. Wisdom is something you could pray for. Wisdom is something you could pray for. Pray for wisdom. To see the mercies that daddy and mommy were able to exercise.
I tell you.
All right, so should we end the live now?
Well, Kim, I just want to say hello. So,
Yes, what? There's a beautiful climax that
I think this is the best way to.
Kimberly is here, and she may not add anything to this, but she will be able to, I guess, give you all a very gracious close to this episode.
Tell you, let me wash up the ways, you know.
Hey, boy, you know when my wife comes in, boy, this had to be clean, you know.
Kim, how you doing, girl? Is that my fault, then?
What's up?
Well, we trying to clean up. Maybe also put some boiled rice.
Yeah, and so Kimberly,
That's the life.
you come at an excellent moment that you could say hi and
Bye.
close off. Hi and bye. We would love for you to close off this moment here. Have a seat, please.
I wasn't listening for the last.
That's fine.
hour.
That's
I was in a meeting.
is this hi and whatever you don't have to add anything to what we're chatting about unless you want to.
Right. Well, I don't know what I was chatting about still. I think the last I was there. Okay,
So let me just give a quick run, right?
yeah.
We just really tried to go through the story of starting out as brothers in our youth,
Yeah.
stream coming, what the aftermath of that was like, and then the things that led to the Sana being here. One of the last time your name called was when in April 2023.
Fantastic. Okay.
I probably approached you and say, hey Kim, you know, Sana would like to come here and hang out a little bit, and you were very gracious to say, in fact, I don't even remember if I asked you.
I don't think it is.
That is how sweet you are, right? Ask you for permission. You were asking my permission. But you were gracious and extended yourself as a sister-in-law to my brother in a way that I really appreciate.
And I thank you very much for that, Kim.
Right, that's like
That-
a street family.
That is why he washing his.
Did you all boil the rice? No.
We were supposed to boil rice?
Well, if you want to eat rice, you gotta boil the rice. I only made chicken. Hi everybody. So I don't know exactly what was said because I was in and out of meetings. But I said it at one point. I don't know if you'll see it. I was very happy that you all were able to just sit down and kind of. I mean, you left from start to finish. You told the story. The story was told. The important bits of it, and there are lots of things that not really for public consumption as in any family. So those things will remain where they are. But a part of healing is speaking it out and and letting each other know, because I think you'll probably experience some things that neither of you knew before. So it was good, cathartic, I guess, for both of them. And I appreciate you all telling the story together, because the fence was made to separate each other and in it give safety for both of others. And the fence was there to heal what was happening. And the fact that all they together taking down the fence kind of proved that the fence did its job, right? It's like medication. You take it until you don't need it anymore. And then that's it. So
I think that's nicely put there, boy.
yeah.
Yeah. Something that was intended to separate us during this healing.
For your own good.
Now,
Yeah.
we taking it down together.
Yeah. And that's the best thing to do. And it's not meant, the removal of this fence is definitely not meant to harm anybody. Because as I said, you have been living there for 20 years without any sort of fencing in front there. It was just a big open yard into your gallery. And the fence was put there not by you all, but for you all, to keep that distance between you and London. And it wasn't meant as a safety aspect for the family who in living there. So taking it away is definitely not meant to compromise the safety, because there's no gate, there's no lock, there's nothing stopping anybody from driving up. I personally have seen more than 1, more than 10, more than 20 subscribers who probably have never met Lasana drive up into that compound. So safety, what? I don't know. So yeah, it's not meant to be anything other than what it is. It's just the fence that is not needed anymore. Serve this purpose. Hey, let me boil my rice.
Yeah, well, sorry about that rice.
No, I have rice, I think, in the fridge. I need to boil part, yeah.
So Linda, boy, let me close on that rice so we can spend some time.
I would have loved to make this a cooking video, but this is probably a really good place to end this. We're probably going to get some boiled rice and pan saying chicken.
No, we have curry chicken. I made this morning.
You make curry chicken this morning? Alright, so that's a private moment now. So thanks so much for your time and the opportunity to share a story that is important and goes all the way back to the 1930s or the 1920s. I pray for you and your family and whatever circumstances that you're living in, that if you are inspired to seek counsel, whatever form it may take, if you are inspired to seek counsel and heal something between you, a neighbor, a brother, that you do it and you live kindly, you speak with wisdom and kindness. Something I'm very guilty of not doing, but thanks for your time and thanks for understanding. Go and wash the ways now, boy.
All right.